In certain extreme situations, the law is inadequate. In order to shame its inadequacy, it is necessary to act outside the law, to pursue natural justice. This is not vengeance. Revenge is not a valid motive, it's an emotional response. No, not vengeance. Punishment.
Tonight we have a chance to say, yeah, you're right. We're too extreme, we're too wild, we're too out of control, we're too full of our own shit. Or we have a chance to say, hey, fuck you, you're wrong. Fuck you, we're right. Because you have all made it to the dance. Because believe me, this is the dance. Start the show.
Everybody, good evening and welcome to the last Steel Toe evening show of the week. Did you see what I did? Einstein couldn't tie his tie in the mirror, you know. Did you see what I did up here? See what I did? That's the famous Adrian Washington cease and desist. I wish I had all my cease and desists. I wish I could collect them like Infinity Stones. I wonder if Gary still has... I bet you I could get them from Gary. Water under the bridge, for God's sake. I bet you I could get my old cease and desists from Gary. We've got Fox 9. We've got KRWC. Of course, that Adrian one. God, there's Laser 1033, of course. What was the other one? There's like 6 or 7 cease and desist that I've gotten throughout my illustrious radio career. And I'd like to have them all. I only have one. I'd like to get all of them. Well. Welcome to the show. We've got a great one for you tonight. We have lots of detail coming in now. A little detail on the JFK thing. You know, that's the second biggest news that came out is all those JFK files. People are still combing through them. I think everybody was kind of waiting for everybody else to go first and like, hey, you going to read those? Everyone wanted to copy everyone else's homework, but nobody ever actually read it. They're like, I got this far. You want to take a little bit? And I'm like, I was actually waiting until you were done, and I thought you would tell. Like, everyone was doing what I was doing, like not wanting to read it and just waiting for someone, like a bunch of baby birds, waiting for someone to read 1,100 pages of faded horse shit and then just vomit it into our mouths. So far, a little bit of luck. Here's what we found out so far. The CIA yesterday asked Trump to redact any references to Israeli intelligence. We also found out that Kennedy was against Israel's nuclear program. He wanted to shut down Israel's nuclear program. He didn't want Israel to have a nuke. And he also wanted to make AIPAC, the American-Israeli Political Action Committee, he wanted them to have to register as a foreign agent because it was not an American organization. So he wanted to Kennedy wanted to treat Israel like everybody else. And the CIA didn't like that because the CIA and the Mossad were very close. They were really kind of linked in on a lot of shit. In fact, it says in one of the documents, the CIA says we'll have a lot of money with our new friends, the Israelis, when we take care of Kennedy. What that means is open to interpretation. But then you have all the tracking they were doing of Oswald, including autistically counting how long it took to get to downtown Helsinki from the airport. Jack Ruby, who I found out today, one of our listeners goes, "You mean Jacob Rubenstein?" And I'm like, I thought they were dicking with me because we got some members in our audience who are not fans of a certain group of people. And I was like, that can't be true. And sure enough, I looked up Jack Ruby's name, Jacob Rubenstein. I was like, well, God, I didn't learn that. And he had met with Lee Harvey Oswald weeks before at his nightclub. So they were familiar with each other. We have at least one documented meeting between the two. So we basically, if you thought that the Kennedy assassination was a CIA thing, there's a lot in there for you to go off of. If you thought it was the mafia, I think this does a little damage to the mafia theory. It implicates Israel a lot more than I never even thought Israel had anything to do with anything Kennedy related. But apparently the CIA wanted to protect Israeli intelligence yesterday, and the Israelis were not happy about the treatment they were getting from JFK. And then JFK ends up getting killed by this guy that the CIA had their eyes on. And then the guy the CIA had their eyes on got killed by a Jewish nightclub owner. So, that they had also had their eyes on. So I think to say that the CIA killed Kennedy and they were working with Mossad to do it, I think that's still considered a conspiracy theory. I don't think these documents gave you like a smoking gun on any of that. But I do think that maybe this, if that's your take, it lends a little bit of credence to it. You know, it gives you a little something. I in my opinion, I don't think there's any smoking gun in this thing yet. But the real story we need to get to today, the real story that needs to be discussed, Harry Sisson is a heterosexual who. We didn't have a lot of details this morning, so we couldn't bring you a lot of it, but we got some lady laying out the whole thing. We got a couple of guys running interference for old Harry. And boy, I tell you, the body count, if you're a young liberal Democrat male, your body count does not have to be very high for them to consider you a pig. Oh my God. You know, you'd think for the people who are all about like having sex and getting pregnant and killing babies and all that shit, you'd think they really wouldn't care about rampant sex. They certainly don't when it's, monkeypox and shit. But I guess with Harry Sisson, he told a girl that he banged 11 chicks, and that was enough to make him a complete asshole. I mean, I don't consider my number that high, and I put old Harry to shame. I never thought of myself as, Hitch or anything like that. But hey, they wanted to take the kid down. I guess he outlived his usefulness, but he was trying to get some titty pics on Snapchat is basically what it amounts to. And it's these kind of guys. It's the male cheerleaders. It's the male dance team guy. It's the sensitive guys who are into poetry and writing and all that. Those are the guys who are going to be total creeps. The jocks and the football players, they're straightforward. They're big, dumb, adorable animals. It's those goddamn sensitive guys who put a lot of thought into their approach. Those are the guys you got to worry about. Those are the problem children, I'm telling you. Redbird with $5 says it's looking like out of the $300 billion budget from the Department of Energy, only 25% gets spent, or Department of Education, I'm sorry. Only 25% gets spent on education. The rest goes to administrative bloat and donations. Well, I mean, that's everything involving education. That's the teachers union, same thing. Teachers union, State Department of Education, very little of that actually goes to teachers or to the classroom or anything else. It goes to the head muckety-mucks out at the union. A lot of the state of Minnesota spending. We spend more on education than, I think, per capita than any state in the country. And a lot of our budget goes to administrators, and it goes to the teachers union, and it goes to things like that. It doesn't go to the students. I mean, that's unfortunately the way it is. Miss Tay with $14.99. Where's good old Miss Tay on my list? Oh, no. Wait, there she is. She's at 75, if my numbers are correct. That would put her now in 4th place. Hey, Miss Tay. Miss Tay says, popping the night cherry for the goal. Harry is still gay. I don't know, man. We're going to watch this. We're going to find out if Harry's gay. I don't think we can justify saying it anymore. Thank you, of course, evening people. 140 is your number for tonight. I think we're doomed to just repeat the same cycle with the morning crowd. I think it's part of their entertainment. You know, first 2 hours of the show, they're like, we got you, buddy. Let's go. And they got that initial rally and they go nuts. You're like, hey, I think today's going to be one of those easy days. Because, you know, half the days are easy, half the days are tough in the morning. What are you going to do? And we only got one left, and they're already like $40 in. They're doing great. So what they do is they wait till the last possible minute, and then they just throw a couple hundred at you, more than you need, and then we get a win. And then, you know, first of all, if you watch Steel Toe just for that, I mean, you're going to get your heart broken. We nail almost every one of them. And then people seethe and they go nuts and they go on the internet. I mean, that's so sad. I really do feel pity for those people. You go on the internet the rest of the day and you get mad that Steel Toe hit the goal and you try to convince yourself that they're really not, like denying reality for a shitty show. I mean, I would say figure it out, but I mean, you probably don't have much else going on in your life. That's too bad. I'm sorry. Whatever I did to you to make you that way, I apologize, because that was not my intention to damage you that badly. Yankee says, fuck Harry. That story flopped this morning. No one cares. Oh, no. Yankee, I'm sorry. You are wrong, pal. It is fun to talk about Harry Sisson. And, I mean, if you don't think that's a plot twist that Harry Sisson's getting pussy, I mean, if you don't think that's bigger than JFK, we know about JFK. We've heard about JFK our whole lives. Harry Sisson liking girls? What? No. He did. That. One of his texts are so goddamn funny. He texted one girl and said, I'm going to fuck you raw after we go to a wine tasting. So there's a chance that Miss Tay might be right. I might have to take that back. He might still be gay. I'm going to fuck you raw after we have some Moscato, bitch. Yeah, you want to expand your palate with some sweet reds and then go have sex with my penis? Oh, those two things don't seem to go together. Would you like to go to Napa Valley and then fuck? But I'm a girl. Right. Yeah, but you're a dude. Yeah. Wine tastings are gay. Like, if you're a guy and you go with on a wine tasting and you fuck, that's fine. You got dragged to a wine tasting. But if you're the guy who initiates the wine tasting and then gives it that alpha energy afterwards, like, yeah, you're going to get fucked so hard after we go to a wine tasting, you're sending that poor girl mixed messages. Because she's thinking that you're thinking that her vagina's a butthole. And that's not okay. We can't be leading girls on like that. That creates generational damage, you know? End of Silence says, Harry Sisson certainly doesn't believe in Joe Hendry. No, he's not wholesome enough. He's a naughty boy. He's a bad boy. Dinkelman says, what's the big deal about a guy trying to get some nudes? Because all women have agency until they're not smart enough to figure shit out. That's about it. All women are badass and all women are just as good and just as smart as men until a man, is like, hey, show me your pussy. And then all of a sudden, oh my God, he took advantage of me. I don't mind them picking a street. Either men shouldn't be allowed to do that because you're too dumb, or you are woman, hear you roar, you're just like the boys, and, all bets are off. Me personally, I'm fine with either one. Just, let us know what the rules are, and we'll play by them. Well, except that badass pussy hound Harry Sisson. McBuster says wrestling and wine tasting both start with W, and both are gay. All right, look, this show is not a monolith. We can all agree to disagree. I for one find what you just said remarkably hurtful. All right, guys, let's get down to it. We got bunches of stuff to do tonight. One last evening goal, and it's a 6th straight perfect week. And then tomorrow morning, the 6th straight perfect week is complete, and people can do all their seething shows about it. Oh, it makes me so happy. No Pen 15 Fathead with $2 says, do these women have a vagina? Now, what? Look, guys, we got to be fair to old Harry Sisson. All right? If he's getting pussy, he's getting pussy. It's very important when you're wrong to admit you're wrong and correct the record. You know? You can't be like an anti-steel toe person and just create your own reality and then never go outside so you can live in it. I mean, that sounds horrible. Do you really want to be like that? You don't. Here's some of the notes from the JFK thing. I wanted to see what Not the Bee said because Not the Bee is very much in the tank for Israel. So I'm going to be really impressed if Not the Bee talks about all the Israel connections. Here we go. Oh, it says, note, take all of this with a grain of salt. Oh, I bet. You know what? They're going to go with the Israel stuff because they're saying take this all with a grain of salt. What do you mean take it with a grain of salt? These are the documents. First, a Polish driver had warned of a Soviet plot to kill JFK. Hard to read, but it looks like the call occurred in the fall of '62, more than a year before the assassination. Okay. This is interesting because it looks like Lee Harvey Oswald may have been involved with the Soviets and was even trying to get a hold of a USSR visa. Then we have, however, Oswald was known to be a poor shot. See, now I heard different. I heard that he tested out as a marksman and then a sharpshooter. A poor shot who was on the CIA's radar. And they made contact with him. Okay, CIA knew about him. CIA was watching him. J. Edgar Hoover tried to hush conspiracy theories immediately after Oswald's assassination, but also participated in them, apparently. Nothing about Israel. Got JFK Jr. calling Joe Biden a traitor. Wow. Okay, so my initial instincts were right. Not the Bee didn't report anything about the Israeli connections. Huh. Well, at least that's on brand for him. All right, before we get to Harry Sisson, did you guys see that our governor is still out there being a tough guy? Oh, yeah, our governor is out there. I'm telling you right now, Tim Walz is ready to run for president in 2028. Because this guy, I mean, we played the clip last night. He can kick all these Republicans' asses. He can beat them all up. He can beat the shit out of, I mean, he's going to mess these guys up. They better not step to old Timmy Walz because he'll fight them to death. Now Tim Walz on that same show said that the Republicans are scared of Tim's masculinity. That's right. The man we call Tampon Tim is too much man for the Republicans. Let's take a listen.
But I think this notion of toxicity and masculinity needs to be separated. And I think it's been conflated. And I think we're going to have to work on that.
Hold on a minute. I'm getting tired of this. You guys are the ones who did that. This is becoming a theme. A generation ago, Democrats introduced something. A generation later, Democrats go, we got to stop that stupid shit that some asshole put out there a while back. Oh, I'm sorry. You mean the stupid shit that you assholes put out there a while back? Yeah. Well, why don't you guys stop it? Well, we don't know how because we made a bunch of people believe it. And now they are mad at us because if we go to a baseball game, we're promoting colonialism. We don't know. Why do we always have to come in and fix your guys' bullshit?
A little bit. And I think there is a crisis.
I think some of us scare them. I think I scare them a little bit. That's why they spend so much time on it. No, I'm serious because I can fix a truck. They know I'm not bullshitting on this. Yeah. I'm not putting this in people's grill. I don't know if my identity is not hunting. My identity is not football coaching.
That's weird because you bring both of those things up. Didn't he do a whole news report and campaign commercial in his camo and his blaze orange and his shotgun? And I'm a hunter, man. I kill shit too. I'm going to kill Kamala Harris's chances of getting elected president. I'm hunting failed presidential campaigns. Got one. Yeah, as he has a football in the background of his thing. Classic cars, Army. Yeah, I don't make that my identity. I didn't lie about my rank in the military. God, I didn't retire from the National Guard before my unit got called up to go to Iraq. I didn't train all those guys and then go, see you later, suckers. Where does he get off? I think I scare them a little bit. They literally call you Tampon Timmy. I'm sorry. I don't know if you're the intimidating all that is man guy that you thought you were. Dinkelman says, but then people are going to look at the way Walz has run Minnesota and find out there's scams going on in Minnesota. So how is he going to run the fucking United States if he can't even run his state? Come on. He'll do a great job. Didn't you hear him? He knows how to fix a truck. He knows how. I can't look. I'm going to get to Triple N's comment right now, but I can't. Somebody sent me an email today. Thank you, Tara. She sent me an email. She said, yeah, they're mad that you did live reads looking away today. I'm like, what? She's like, yeah, she said that's not professional. I'm like, wow, people really don't get sarcasm. They don't understand a bit. When I tell my audience, I guess we've been doing this for 10 years, so they don't know. But when I tell my audience, oh, God, guys, when you write that, it really distracts me. I got to look off this way. That's kind of the old wink, wink, nudge, nudge to have them do it more. I forget that I'm so much better at this than these other people and that subtlety is not their thing because they listen to drooling pedos. I don't know what to tell you. But Triple N did distract me because I said, where does this guy get off? And in the back of my head, I was like, this could come back to haunt me. Some people could turn this into a thing. And then nobody did. And I'm like, we're good. And then Triple N goes, he gets off in men's asses. Guys, I didn't say it had to be highbrow. And by the way, we are going to try to fit that feeding our future scandal verdict that came in today. We are going to try and get that in on the show tonight. We'll see. I imagine we'll be doing overtime because you guys are you and you're amazing. But we're going to try and get that done. I think a lot of those programs that they're ripping off are federal programs. I don't know. I mean, the state of Minnesota should be keeping an eye on it, but I think they're ripping off federal programs. Like the Somali daycares and the Feeding Our Future thing. But yeah, that lady, everybody involved in that Feeding Our Future thing went down. They all got found guilty. Now, the Somalis that ripped off the system, they got lighter sentences because they totally narked out the woman in charge, the white lady liberal ringleader. They narked the shit out of her and they all got better deals. I mean, they're all going to prison, but they did a little bit better than Amy Bach did. Amy Bach is fucked. Because there's nobody for her to snitch on. I mean, usually if you've got somebody to snitch on, you can save your ass a little bit. But not Amy Bach. She was running a band of renegade Somalis, and they turned around their fishing boat, and they fucking ski-daddled away from the piracy, is what they did. But yeah, the Tim Walz thing, I think he's going to run in 2028. I do. I think he's going to try and get another term as governor of Minnesota. And our Republicans are so awful that he might actually get it. I'm worried about that. And then I think he's going to try to run in 2028. I'm not saying he's going to win the primary. I'm not saying he's going to be their candidate. Although, who do they have? Walz Fetterman, 2028. But he's going to try. I think so. This guy's convinced that he's the shit. He really is. He's not lying. Let's go to Ethan. Oh, Ethan with $50 says normally listen in the morning. So this is from the morning crew. Look at that, guys. The morning crew coming in and saying, you guys can't have all the fun. That's not allowed. Thank you, buddy. $90 away from tonight. Thank you so much for your generosity. Well, look at that. We're almost done. Thank you so much. $90 away. Streamlabs, PayPal, Rumble Rants, and all that happy shit. Thank you very much. Klopogram says, what's the benefits of drinking from that jar of pee, Aaron? You don't know Central Minnesota? Man, I grew up. Man, we would drink out of jelly jars. We would drink out of ball jars, mason jars, curd jars. There's a housefly swimming in my sweet tea. Hey, darling, pass another curd jar to me. Butter dripping off a biscuit, babe, you better take a bite. Cantaloupe clumps like it's finally ripe. Box fan on a lawn chair, sucking in swamp air, 200-mile marker sign from nowhere. That's what country is. It ain't a rebel flag you bought at the mall. It's a hideaway bed in an old horse stall. 2 kids getting caught stealing a Boone's Farm kiss. It ain't a jacked up truck that's never seen a pasture. It's cars pulling over for a no-cab tractor. It's homemade peach iced tea on sunburned lips. That's what country is. Triple N says, stop quoting Brokeback Mountain. It's actually from Luke Bryan's first album. Well, I guess, you know what? You win. You win. MSO says, drinking out of a jar, the secret to that hairline. No, fucking angry German genetics. That's what gets you this hairline. Oh, man, my late uncle who passed away last year, he was, I mean, when I think of the Imholt hairline and where I got it, you guys won't believe this, but at 38 years old, for the men in my family, take a look at this Letterman thing I got going on up here. This is a lot of hair. Like, by the time men in my family are 40, it's pretty much, it's little wispy pieces, right? Like back here. And then just, and then you got the shit back around and on the side. That's it. That's it. That's Imholt men. That's what I have to look forward to. I have one uncle that has a good hairline. And every time I see it, I just want to hit him in the head with a baseball bat. It's frustrating to see. Really frustrating to see. All right, guys, let's continue on. I'm really sorry to bring up Tim Walz. Let me bring up somebody else that's going to make you a lot happier. You know what? I'm not even going to tell you who it is. Just take a look. There he is. There he is. Oh, primetime Jimmy. No, late night Jimmy. Jimmy Kimmel, honestly, I think he's getting too much shit for this one. I think Republicans and these righties, I think they got to lead by example. You can't spend the last 4 years saying that the other side is pussies and they can't take a joke and they take everything way too seriously and they're politically correct and then give Jimmy Kimmel shit for this. Now, if you didn't say any of that, I think what Jimmy Kimmel did here is a little fucking borderline. I'll be honest. But if you're going to shit on everyone else for being oversensitive, I'm sorry, you can't. I think you lose your right to go after Jimmy on this one. I think this is comedic license, if I'm being honest with you. This is Jimmy Kimmel talking about the rash of Teslas that have been set on fire. Let's check this out.
Vandalizing Tesla vehicles, new Tesla vehicles. Please don't vandalize. Don't ever vandalize Tesla vehicles. And so
that's it. That's all it was. People are pissed about that today. They're trying to make that a thing. Like, oh my God, can you believe that Jimmy Kimmel did? That's just awful. That Jimmy would look into the camera like that. It was a light, slight, half-a-second thing. I don't think it's a big deal. I really don't. Jimmy Kimmel is one of the most, Jimmy and Howard Stern are two of the most disappointing guys in comedy to me. Because I think Jimmy Kimmel did what people accuse Bill Burr of doing. Jimmy got the big job, and he completely changed the way he was. And he was just, oversensitive, and he was policing humor and what people can say and what they can't say. And he was turning his show into a political rally and everything. It sucks. It really sucks what happened to Jimmy Kimmel, because anyone who used to watch Win Ben Stein's Money or The Man Show or his early late night days, Jimmy was really good. There was a time where Jimmy Kimmel was the best and funniest late night guy out there. When he was going head to head with Ferguson on CBS, when he was on ABC and Ferguson was on CBS, he was really good. And then I don't know if he just got older, and I don't know if some life event changed him. Or maybe we changed. I don't know. Or somebody, I hate to say somebody got to him because that's the easy way out. But something happened to Jimmy. Cocktiff says Jimmy and Howard fuck each other. Ralph was the threesome. Oh, he was the lucky Pierre. I think Steve Grillo came out this week. And he said that the Howard he knew in the 90s would hate the Howard that's out there now, and that Howard sold out so he could be more appealing to his A-list Hollywood friends. And he's like, that's why he changed. Allow me to say this. I don't know if Howard changed. As a radio guy, you play a character. You know, you can't be like this all the time. You'll be a raging psychopath. Howard was playing a character on the radio. I think Howard always wanted to be the stay-at-home, shut-in, you know, any friends he had to have some kind of clout. He wanted to be with the A-listers. That's why he raged against them so badly. That's why he went after the A-listers so hard. He wanted to be one of them. So I think the Howard you're seeing now might be a lot closer to the actual Howard Stern than the character who was on the radio in the 90s. So but there's something, you can't say that Trump broke Howard. Because Howard, after Artie left in like 2010, was already, going downhill in terms of his content. I think Jimmy Kimmel got a little busted by Trump. I think the Trump thing really fucked with Jimmy Kimmel. He's one you can definitely say has Trump derangement syndrome. Howard, it was something else. I think age started his turn away from everything he used to do. And then after that, it was COVID. COVID finished him off. I mean, anything Howard had left was wiped out by his panic on COVID. But Jimmy Kimmel talking about the Tesla thing and making a little joke there. It's not like people don't already know Jimmy Kimmel's thoughts on Elon Musk and Donald Trump. And I think that joke was about as close to the line as you're going to get. And honestly, just nice to see Jimmy trying to be edgy again. I mean, I didn't think it would take him borderline encouraging domestic terrorism to do it, but it's nice to see he's got a little bit of an edginess pulse. It's always tough, though, when your edginess reinforces your political beliefs. It just doesn't seem as like you mean it as much in a weird way. Jimmy Kimmel has Trump derangement syndrome. I'll go with that. I think that's fair. Oh, I don't know if I can go with this cocktiff. Jimmy Kimmel is the male version of Whoopi Goldberg. How about he's the male version of Joy Behar? Because there was a point where Joy Behar was one of the best stand-up comics in the country. She was one of the most, the highest paid, most touring, in demand, especially female comics of her day. And the further and further she went down the political road, Trump is another one that kind of broke her too. I'll go with he's the male Joy Behar, Jimmy Kimmel. Klopogram says the Tesla attacks will stop once a lefty celeb gets killed by accident because the left are so stupid. Well, that's why the Tesla thing just doesn't make any sense. Most of the people who buy those cars are hippie environmentalist liberals, or you know who else buys Teslas? New money who wants to cover up insecurity they have that they don't belong. That's the other group of people who buy Teslas. And now maybe some righties because they're such Elon fanboys, but for the most part, I'm thinking especially, could you imagine you're in New York City especially. You're in one of the boroughs of New York City and you're vandalizing a Tesla. Let's just play the numbers on that one. What are the odds that a person in New York City who drives a car, first of all, and drives an electric car is a conservative and a Trump voter? Just do the fucking math. It's so stupid. Rusty Grammer says, oh, Jesus Christ, dude. I was going to go to Rusty because I can always go to Rusty, and Rusty's coming in hot with I think he's talking about the feeding our future thing. Taste Fairy says the Cybertrucks are more of a righty thing, I think. The Cybertrucks are a douchebag thing. I mean, if you tell me you're not buying those solely because of status, you're a fucking liar. Nobody is buying those Cybertrucks because they're cool. Those things are the ugliest goddamn vehicle on God's green earth. You are buying that because you have... Most guys now who are buying Teslas are buying themselves a personality. They don't really have anything else. They don't have a lot of friends. They don't hang out a lot. They bought themselves something that they could talk about that they thought could make them interesting. That's it. You know who probably has a lot of personality? Some shithead driving a hoopty. Somebody driving an old-ass car that gets them from point A to point B, and they've had it for years, and they don't pay a dime on it, And it's just old reliable. That guy's probably funny. He's probably engaging. He's probably a great time to hang out with. No drama. These guys buying Cybertrucks now. Somebody says little dick syndrome. Oh, like a Tahoe. Nah, stop it. That was because a woman said she wouldn't be with a man who drives a van. I should have had some balls. I think that the Cybertruck thing is, I don't think it's little dick syndrome. I think it's there's nothing interesting about me. What can be a conversation piece? Dinkelman, breaking news. The Minnesota Vikings signed Rondell Moore. Fantastic. So the Vikings have a number 3 receiver who can be the number 2 receiver when Jordan Addison's out for 2 weeks. 3 weeks. He's going to be suspended for 3 weeks because of his DUI. Fell asleep on the on-ramp and got a DUI. Pulled over, took a little snooze on the on-ramp, which if you're going to fall asleep and if you're going to pull over and snooze anywhere because you're hammered, which is a terrible idea because, I mean, you had to drive there. You're getting a DUI no matter what. An on-ramp's the worst because the minute a cop turns onto that on-ramp, he sees someone pulled over at night. I mean, he's stopping. So that is a terrible fucking idea. CJ with $2 says, tell me you've never driven a Tesla before. I mean, I haven't, but that has nothing to do with the take. The Cybertruck is ugly. It's hideous. I have not met one person who's seen that Cybertruck and gone, oh, yeah, good-looking vehicle. They're hideous. They're really gross. MSO says, so what Aaron is trying to say is he's buying one. I think one of the hardest things for people to cope with is the fact that, Aaron's got a lot of friends. He goes out, he has a good time. People seem to like him, has a good personality. So no, that I don't need the Tesla. I do feel bad for people who seem to have I don't know why that would matter to them. I got to be honest. I think a lot of the obsession and the seething about me is like, it's sad but funny. But I don't understand where a lot of it comes from. It's like, I might have amnesia. I might have murdered all these people's families. And I understand there's only like a handful of them, but still, it is weird. It's like, whatever I did to you, like, stop crying. I'm sorry for whatever it is I've done. But I don't know. I don't know what it is I did to you. Thank you, CJ, for the $2. Hey, you guys are all over it tonight. Thank you so much. $90 away from tonight's goal. Thank you very much. I like that we can do this on evening shows that I can kind of keep an eye on things. Oh. The Renegger is fighting with people in the chat. You know what, though, Renegger? No offense. You did lose this one. I mean, you announced your departure like it's a fucking airport, which is about the gayest thing you can do, and someone in the chat did call you on it. I mean, you did kind of ask for that one, and you kind of got buried, dude. Sorry. Next time, now, but you know what? It's an easy lesson to learn. Just walk out the door next time. Oh, now Rusty Grammer saying more like retarder. That's not very nice. Yeah, I definitely got to give that one to End of Silence. Renegger kind of set himself up for that one. Sorry, bud. Clapogram says, Aaron touched me here, then here, and stuck his finger in here. It was supposed to be a fucking secret, Clapo. And you're an adult, and it was consensual, and Harry Sisson told me it's not gay. So shut the fuck up and let me do my job. Thank you very much. All right, speaking of which, let's get to the Harry Sisson stuff. Hey, by the way, thank you. Clapogram and I talk before the show, and we do show prep together. And I told him, I said, at the 36-minute mark, I need you to write something about me touching you somewhere. And we're going to use that to go into the Harry Sisson thing. And he said, all right, I got you, boss. I'm not going to let you down. And look at the kid. He knocked it out of the goddamn park. Great job. Great job. So here we go. This is, boy, when these women get mad at a guy, they really dig in and do their research, and they come to you with stacks of papers. Do you know what this piece of shit did? And nobody is more scorned than a progressive woman who finds out that one of their liberal dude heroes is a piece of shit like the conservatives that they're always talking about. So Harry Sisson, if you don't know who he is, he's the guy who looks like clearly gay. Like he's so gay. He looks like he's wearing heavy theater makeup all the time. And he got famous on TikTok, and the Democrats paid him to put out pro-Democrat shit to get young people to vote Democrat. And then he became like this snarky Gen Z little cunt that only people with a double-digit IQ or under the age of 19 listen to. Everyone else watches them, and it is a generational thing because anybody over the age of 25 looks at Harry Sisson and goes, how does anybody get any of their political takes from this? It's like getting your political takes from me. Don't do it, because I'll switch him tomorrow. But Harry Sisson would go on, and he's shilling for Biden up through the debate, and but then when Biden dropped out, he's like, that's so brave of Biden. He did what was right for the country, and oh God, is he unbearable. Well, apparently Harry Sisson has been texting girls, and he's been lying to them so that they would either send him nudes or sleep with him, which no man has ever done before in the history of this great republic. And I, for one, will tell you, I am disgusted by the behavior of Harry Sisson. If you can't trust a liberal kid that you were sure was a mo, who can you trust? So this woman is put together, and I don't think I'm going to go over the whole 9.5 minutes, but she went over the whole Harry Sisson thing and exactly what it is he did. And again, the funniest thing I've seen about this Harry Sisson thing is he texted a girl or DM'd the girl and told her that he was going to fuck her raw after a wine tasting. And if that's not the I'm still keeping one foot in my gay progressive camp thing you've ever heard, I don't know what is. So let's see what she's got on Harry Sisson. Now, I think for conservatives, the most shocking part about this whole thing is that Harry Sisson's into girls.
Shall we? So before I get into these around 50 screenshots providing evidence and context for anything that I have said, I do want to reiterate something just for even more context. I met Harry in summer of 2020. We were both kind of like the original political TikTokers, and we were on the Dem High Pass, which was a huge political TikTok account.
Which was paid for by the DNC, by the way. So she made a bunch of money doing the Democrat shilling the same way Harry did. Those summer nights, well. Tell me more, were you both DNC shills? Tell me more, babe, are you on the pill? Nah. Tell me more, do you think Biden is dumb? Tell me more, does my hand smell like my cum? Dun, 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 dun. I just imagine, Harry Sisson with the girls, a great time. He's a natural ladies' man.
Our relationship has always been friend-based. However,
Sure.
When I did go to Jersey to visit my aunt, he has a summer house there, so we did hook up a couple times. So it was kind of like friends with benefits, but
I can't help you then. Like, we were young too. I'm not going to judge young people for not knowing what the fuck is what, but we were just friends. No, you weren't. You fucked. The minute you fuck somebody, you are more than friends. Oh, no, our generation has figured out this. Yeah, our generation had it figured out, too. Oh, we could totally fuck, and there could be no strings attached, and everybody would be fine. No, not everybody's going to be fine. It's going to cause a problem. It creates a closeness. It creates a bond. Emotions get involved. You're going to fuck it up. Do you value your friendship? Don't fuck him. Why? Because he's only being friends with you so he can fuck you. Men don't find you interesting. Guys have male friends. That's who they hang out with. And I have bad news, honey. His male friends are 5 million times more fun than you. You know what you've heard? You've heard a woman go, I love doing stuff with the guys. They have so much fun. You know what you never hear a guy say? Why don't you ever let me go to scrapbooking night? Your guys' shit is boring as fuck and it's no fun. Yes, I know you want to be involved with all our stuff. We're really cool and a great time to be around. No guy wants to be your friend. I don't know how many times women need to learn this lesson, and apparently the hard way. No guy wants to be friends with you unless he is a homosexual. And the minute you fuck him, I know you're thinking it's going to be friends with benefits. Nothing will change. Everything will change, including his interest level in you when you don't want to have sex. All of a sudden, he's not going to like the things you thought he liked. He's not going to want to do the things with you that he used to do. Why? Because just like in Go Fish, sweetheart, he got what he wanted. All right? Oh, no, I'm just talking to my friend. He's my friend. Yeah, I'm sure he's your friend. Oh, he is. He's different than other guys. Is he? Go fuck him. Go ahead. Well, we would just be friends with benefits because we already talked about it. He's lying to fuck you. How do you know that? Because it's our move. You think we like the Twilight movies, you asshole?
It was kind of established that if we saw each other in person, we'd probably hook up, but our conversations outside of seeing each other in person or whatever were never really like flirty or anything like that.
You know what? If she's one of the women complaining about Harry Sisson, as much as it pains me to say this, I am on Harry Sisson's side with this one. You don't want him talking sexually to you, don't fuck him. You don't want him talking sexually to you, ghost him, block him, get rid of him. He's not your buddy. He wanted your pussy. I'm sorry to be so blunt about it, but that's the way it is. Wake the fuck up. And again, I'm not going to trash Gen Z and say this is a them thing. Millennials went through this phase too. Shit, I just learned what's appropriate a year ago. So, I'm new to the game in terms of, oh no, we can do this and it won't create feelings or emotions and it'll just be a fun thing. Oh, really? Really? Why don't we just tell the truth? I can't stand you anymore. You can't stand me anymore. And I'd take anything that isn't you. And I'm not going to pretend that feeling I have isn't mutual. I understand. You can't care about someone and do shit like that. It doesn't work.
So I was never under any sort of impression that we were exclusive ever. We never were like that. So my story is going to be different than a lot of these girls. Just putting that out there. So you
just had to put that out there that you're just kind of Harry's hoe for a while? Yeah, gals, this third wave feminism, sexual liberation shit, not as badass as you all seem to think it is. Because the outside world doesn't see it and go, wow, she just kind of does what she wants. The rest of us just go, oh, so you're a hoe. Okay, cool.
Until about maybe the beginning of 2023, I would have considered Harry one of my best friends. And let me know if you see a pattern here. But
God, you know what? I'm ready to take, guys. I am ready to take Harry Sisson's side on this whole thing. If she is gonna go with the angle that, oh, I sent him my tits, or oh, I sucked his dick, or oh, I fucked him because I thought we were friends. You know what? I'm on Harry's. Harry did nothing wrong if that's the case. Now, if it turns out to be something else, then it could be something else. But
picked that off was that he was the one recording my grapist when I called him and got him admitting to graping me on audio. Okay, which was
so some guy did the graping. Harry Sisson recorded that. So Harry Sisson did you a massive favor. Harry Sisson helped you through a remarkably traumatic time. Wow. I didn't think it was possible. And maybe this story gets worse, but I'm starting to feel bad for Harry Sisson here, boys. Did I hear that right? You said he recorded my grapist admitting he did it? So Harry Sisson was a really good guy to you. And you fucked him. And, oh, man. That's dirty, man. That's really dirty.
Was the one recording my grapist when I called him and got him admitting to graping me on audio, okay? Which was great, whatever. And then
great! Oh my God, you sociopath. That's great, whatever? No, that's a fucking homeboy move. That's a hardcore, like, I got your back move. Maybe Harry wanted to be more than friends. I don't know.
Started drinking. So when Harry started drinking, he started getting a lot more aggressively flirty.
Honest. He got more honest. Drunk words are sober thoughts.
I apologize for my hand tremors. I can't control them. But if you want to pause and screenshot those, these are times in which Harry was getting obliterated drunk and calling, FaceTiming, and saying very sexual things to me.
Wait, let me get this straight. So a guy you fucked on the regular got drunk and wrote sexual things to you. I don't understand this shit, man. I'm too old now. I'm just too old. Like, I don't like this low level of personal responsibility. If this is the way it is, I'm out, like, of society. Like, if this is how much leeway we're going to give people who want to sleep, like, you want to sleep around, but take responsibility for your fucking actions. Don't keep blowing a guy, and then when he gets drunk, go, hey, we should hook up again. And then you don't block him, and then you fucking burn him later? No.
I didn't really care. You know, it's whatever. Drunk words, sober thoughts. You get it. And
you don't care, but yet here you are burning this guy. Wow. I am so mad at her for one reason. I'm starting to feel sympathy for Harry Sisson, and that angers me greatly.
Then this is when I noticed kind of a shift in Harry. He started to gain a lot more attention, a lot more of a following, and he created a Discord, in which it was a very exclusive Discord, and very strange, creepy people were allowed in the Discord. I was in it for a little bit, but I was like never allowed to talk in it, so that's where...
What do you mean never allowed? Was your keyboard locked? Never allowed to talk in it. Yeah, you know what happened to Harry Sisson? He got more famous and girls started talking to him. And he went, holy shit, I can get pussy. And he used that fame to get laid. Tale as old as time.
Harry meets somebody named Camille. Okay?
Camille, you talk to my friend Harry Sisson and he's going to take care of your pussy you got. Camille, if you want to talk about progressive politics and then you want to suck Harry Sisson's dick, it sounds like a plan to me. Camille, come talk to Harry Sisson and talk into the microphone. I'm sorry. I can't think of the name Camille without thinking of Bill Cosby. He's going to talk about progressive politics, and then he's going to get progressively drunk and then progressively finger your pussy. You're gone.
I was advised not to, by my father, not to pursue an internship or a job with this Camille guy because my dad said he looked sketchy.
Camille's a dude? Everything's gay now. Like, everything. I'm out of touch. Everything's gay, and it's fine.
Harry decided to go ahead and do so. And this is when I started getting messages from a miner, whom I will not say the name.
Taconite? Iron ore? Lithium? Oh, Minor.
With autism, who is also in the Discord. He was probably around 14 at the time.
Can I tell you something? This is why you should never fuck with it. Discord is for losers. If you're on Discord, you're a bum. And I'll tell you why. It's for that kid. Discord is for 14-year-olds with autism, people who can't connect in the outside world. That's what it should be reserved for. If you're perfectly capable of going out and grocery shopping and going to family and friend events and everything, and then you're like, I'm going to go on Discord, you're a bum, Jules.
And he was sending me some concerning...
Discord is exclusively for 14-year-olds with autism. Reddit is for 30-year-olds with autism.
...things regarding what Camille would send to him. Those are things I cannot show for legal reasons, but very much so did happen, and I contacted his mom, everything. But you know who was working for him? Harry. And
so wait, this Camille guy's a creep. How is that hair? Dude, I really don't like her so far.
I told Harry about everything that Camille was doing. Here's the proof of that. This is a conversation between Camille and the miner in question. Camille texts him, why do they know so many details then? Why do they have screenshots? And in those same texts, you will see him saying he's going to lose a business partner, aka Harry. Now, Harry would respond with, yeah, that's super messed up. I won't work for him anymore. That's crazy.
Yeah.
And then I got this message from the minor saying that Harry still is working for Camille. So I reach out to Harry. And this is the conversation from that little debacle. And then it got to a point wherein I was seeing if I should be contacting the police because this minor happens to be based internationally. He's not in America. And I advised Harry that I'm doing so, and he starts advising me not to do so. Through FaceTime audio, mind you.
Okay.
But here's the conversation about him advising me not to do so. And if you see with all of the other girls too, he loves calling women lunatics, they're crazy, conspiracy theory, his favorite. Okay.
Okay, sounds like Harry's kind of got him nailed. No. Oh, I don't know, man. First of all, I don't see what Harry Sisson has done wrong yet. Let's get to that part. So some guy so he doesn't want you to get involved with his boss and and snitch his boss out for something because he's worried he's going to get in trouble. That's a chicken shit move on Harry Sisson's part, but it's something that a lot of people would ask their friends not to do because they'd be worried for their jobs.
Okay, let's continue. Oh, here's a random little tidbit, not really related to what I'm talking about, but I figure I'd share screenshots of Harry with my saved inappropriate photos in the chat. See, I am really sitting here admitting that I did send inappropriate, because it was like a fun little fling. For me, this is less about the romantic part of anything.
That's convenient. So you just get to leave out the parts that, okay. I mean, this really just seems like a jaded ex that's trying to get him. I mean, I'm not saying that there's not stuff about Harry that looks shitty, but I haven't seen it yet from her.
I don't really mind that. I don't like that they're saved, but the whole inappropriate photos thing, not really my main issue. The context of it is though. So hold on. So here's
context is you fucked him. God. Have some fucking responsibility for yourself. Jesus Christ.
Saying point blank to Harry, what's a conspiracy theory? The grooming part or me quite literally finding your relationship with Camille and all of this is suspicious. That's a speculation, not a theory. Anyway, and this is after Harry...
What did he say back? Did he defend himself? Did he...
called me about 20 times and me not answering, and him saying, this is truly insane, Hannah, you don't know anything about Camille in this entire situation, nor do you know what Chris and I dealt with when it came to Camille. Essentially,
okay, there. That's the first thing I've seen so far that makes me go, yeah, fuck Harry Sisson. He's an asshole. He's standing up for some guy who's on Discord talking to a 14-year-old. Yeah, fuck Harry Sisson for that. Okay, you got one. The jaded X shit, the 5 minutes of jaded X shit in between, I don't really know.
Putting his issues with Camille above the fact that he's literally grooming a minor. Anyway. Eventually, however, I was manipulated into thinking that he was no longer working for Camille.
All of these strong, independent women, whenever they fuck up, they were always just manipulated. They're badasses, and they really give it to these guys, and they really know what's up. But, boy, when they fuck something up, there's that goddamn Harry Sisson manipulating me. That was the problem.
Whoops. So then October 7th happens. I don't know if I showed this.
The Jews got shot up by Hamas that October 7th? That was a fucking tragedy.
Already, but this is also important in the context of everything. I'm sorry this is so confusing. Everything is everywhere.
It's not confusing. None of this is confusing. You have yet to show why Harry Sisson is a womanizing piece of shit.
Okay. So then Harry calls me saying that he's making some federal complaint against Camille. Okay, and I'm like,
well, that's
period,
good.
Right? And so here's that conversation. Essentially, he tells me that 2 other people are in on it.
Okay.
And then I said, okay, we had a little tiff pass behind us. We're homies now. He then asked me for nudes, unsent the nudes.
What a little piece of shit. Oh, Harry, come on, man. She's like, this guy's grooming minors. She's like, I know she's grooming minors. I finally get it. I got my posse together. We're going to get him. She's like, oh, that's great. We can be friends again. Cool. Show me your tits. What a little asshole. Oh my God. Let's take a break from this for a second and go to you guys. What a little shithead. You know what, though? Here's where Harry Sisson fucked up. He wanted to be in that progressive world. And in that progressive world, the minute you start asking for titties, they're going to burn you on it eventually. So you better not be this progressive, believe all women are amazing, women are the greatest, women's choice. But don't make your whole thing white knighting for girls while you're asking them to show their pussy and you're fucking all your fans and doing all this other shit and you want to rail them after a wine tasting, you man's man, you. I mean, these women are going to fucking burn you. It's a matter of time. I know, Harry, rookie mistake. She said, we can just be friends and have sex. There doesn't need to be feelings attached to it. There will always be Harry, the minute you fuck another girl, she's gonna burn you. She didn't mean it, buddy. There are going to be feelings attached. She thought that's what you wanted to hear, so you would stick around with her. Oh, but remember, it's the guy who's manipulative. She got manipulated. Guys, we're both adults. We're both grown-ups. Own your fuck-ups. CJ with $5 says Sisson's alleged actions is kleptogamy. Evo biologist John Maynard Smith coined the term sneaky fucker. Harry has used manipulation to F her. Doesn't sound like it. Even she says that she was totally with it. It was a fling. $5 from Gray Duckling says, did you hear what Tanya said about Jimmy who saw Sarah? That's what I'm hearing so far. Gray Duckling with $5. Shut up and show your tits. I mean, that last part where Harry Sisson goes, are we good now? And she's like, yeah, we're good. He's like, can I see your tits? Fucking A, dude. What a shithead Harry is. Numero uno, thank you, buddy. My little double agent. We'll get into that too. I got some Rumble rants I need to get through, just a couple of them. Let's go. $1 from Dive Bar says, give the goddamn guy his $50 drug. Oh shit, I'm sorry. You're right. Here we go.
They are afraid.
Thank you, Ethan. E10. Toad Climbs Mountains with $2 says Cosby impression on cue with the Camille name. Bravo. I mean, look, I keep telling you I'm the best. I'm the best. Miss Tay with $20. Oh my goodness. Tay's moving up the leaderboard. Is she going to do this again? Is Miss Tay making a run again? She says this is for Gray Duckling's total and his love of tits. Oh shit, never mind. 143. 148 because Gray Duckling's thrown in a $5 tonight. So 148 for old Gray Duckling. I don't know. I think Crunchy's got it locked up, though, personally. You guys are now 65 away from tonight's goal. You're about there. Thank you. Numero Uno says, check out her old TikToks. She's toned herself into a button-down librarian mode for this one. Oh, really? Oh, all right. Oh, fuck off. What's Rich Evans doing there? Numero uno with another one. Another one. There's no straight pride. Oh, wow. She's edgy as fuck.
Do not read the colony policy.
That's it. Okay, so she's kind of...
Perhaps you have simply...
Thank you, Numero Uno. Tone Lope says, woman decides who have sex with her, men decide who gets a relationship. Oh, shit. Filler Slit says, Aaron, can you do a whole stream acting like Perry Caravello? I'm sorry, I can't. I'll stroke out. I don't know how he's staying alive doing that fucking the way he is. Is she going to give us anything good? Or is this just about, I'll tell you one thing. She's got me thinking that this Camille guy's a Melton level piece of shit. But other than that, Harry Sisson's a fuckboy. Do we get canceled for that now, being a fuckboy?
Unsent the message. And that's what I was talking about when I said, tried to get me to send him nudes because he pretended that he cared about the predation.
Whoa. Guys can do two things at once. Guys can be really disgusted by a pedo, and then as soon as a hot chick says we're cool, you can be like, I really want to see your tits. It's not an emotional thing. It's a physical thing.
I said, I saw that, you freak. Are you drunk or something? Okay. But I didn't realize that until way later on, because then October 7th happened, and we were constantly arguing about that. So here is...
What a couple of fucking dorks. Then the Jews got attacked, and both of us 20-year-olds started talking about that all the time. Wow, that's great. And that's what I'd be reporting someone for. I'd be like, hey, my fuck buddy won't stop talking about Israel and Hamas. Can we get her canceled, please? Trying to get back to talking about pussy.
Me trying to call Harry because I was trying to talk to him about, Middle East stuff. He questions.
I'll talk to you about Hamas if you show me your tits. Harry, you know what? So far, Harry's Irie.
He says he's tired. I say whatever. He goes, you know what it's a perfect time for, though? Referring to nudes. I said...
what an asshole. Block him. Get rid of him. Drop him. He doesn't give a shit about what you think about Bibi Netanyahu. He wants to see your B.U. boobies. He doesn't want to see your B cups. He doesn't want to see your BB. He wants to see your B cups, baby. Cut him loose.
You're funny. Then he unsent a message, and I said, I saw that, you freak. Anyways. Then I had a phone call with the minor. He called me at like 10 p.m. I was like, what the fuck? I answer, and he's asking these really, really strange questions, and I'm like, what the hell? Come to find out, Harry and Camille were working together to try to get me to say something, so if I say anything in the future, I'd lose my credibility.
Well, Camille, can you have the 14-year-old call the slutty hot political chick and never say something perverted to the guy?
Okay. And here, I know it's small, I was trying to preserve...
That's what Harry Sisson said.
And I know it's probably going to be backwards, too. Whatever. I'll post these more straight up next time. That is the fake cease and desist I received soon after.
I love that. Okay, I'm done with her, but we got a couple more here. But they're not that long. I love when people write you something online and then they pretend that's a cease and desist. I love when they go... hey, I'm asking you to stop this. And they go, that's a cease and desist. It's like, no, it's not. When Melton was panicking about the pedo stuff, he did that with me. And he tries to sweep that under the rug. He's like, I told Aaron that he needs to stop. That's a cease and desist. I can take action. No, you can't. Sorry, bitch. Keep crying. Everybody's a fucking lawyer. Miss Tay with $5 says, for Gray Duckling, no wonder men don't listen to us. I mean, look, this woman clearly has an agenda. She's just the worst. Maybe Harry Sisson is like a serial pervert, and I don't doubt that with that face, he fucking is. But she is the worst goddamn representative of this whole thing because she is not a victim. She had a fuck buddy, and her fuck buddy was a pervert. And not like an illegal pervert, just a nutless fucking pervert who wouldn't stand up to his boss when his boss was a creep. CJ with $5 says kleptogamy is when beta males use subversive tactics to F because they can't compete on their merits. Thus, they pretend to be nice guys to disarm women. Oh, that's gross. Can't you just be a funny piece of shit? Always worked for me. Just be funny garbage. And not like garbage to them, but just like, not the most sophisticated guy in the world, you know? Power Windows with a great point. He writes, October 7th and nudes. Weird combo. Yeah, keep fucking talking about Hamas. I'm almost there. Don't click. There is no Numero uno, Josh Denny fan says, unless she shows us the nudes at the end, I'm not into it. Hey, numero uno, I saw somebody in the chat say that Johnny banned you today. What'd you do to Johnny before we need to take a Harry Sisson break for a little bit here. What'd you do to Johnny? This is the evening show. It's, a little less people than the morning show. We can do a little more one-on-one on this fine program. What'd you do to Johnny? Oh, MSO says that kid would be too old for Melton. Okay, well, that's fair. That's fair. You can shave all of Harry off. Well, no, the next one's like, what's this next one here? It's less than 2 minutes. This one's, there's another one that's 2:47. We won't do that one. But what'd you do to my boy Johnny? Said, LOL, it was the time 6 months ago. He got mad. I started telling him how fake and gay Elon is. And he banned you for that? You understand people tell me how fake and gay I am every day, and I don't ban them for that? Jesus. No doing that. No banning numero. So what if numero uno Josh Denny fan is a double agent? That's the gayness of his life that he has to live with. I don't mind. He comes here and we have fun. If he goes to other shows and is like, I actually fucking don't like Aaron. I actually am cool with you. I don't give a shit. I mean, that sounds like a really fucking gay life to have to live. That doesn't really seem like something I have to concern myself with. That's your cross to bear. So I like numero uno Josh Denny fan. I mean, I don't know. Maybe I don't feel threatened by that kind of behavior because I stopped doing shit like that when I was in 3rd grade. So it doesn't, I see numero uno Josh Denny as like a wayward child. That's all. Plus, I'm sure he fucks with everybody. All right, so here's the this is a guy from Barstool Sports who's got some, I don't know if he's got sympathy for Harry or what his position is, but he tweeted this. I don't think the Barstool guy is the guy in the video, but he tweeted this out.
What may be the upset of 2025, the internet's favorite Democrat, Harry Sisson, is being canceled for having a roster of women and not telling any of them. And although this may be Harry's first true controversy among his fellow beloved leftists, the entire internet does now have to acknowledge that this man has some game. So recently, Harry has been posting with this girl. Fully appears that Harry's in a relationship, shaking his head at the haters, I would assume. But yeah, it seems like he's in love. Now,
dude, that's so gay. Like, imagine internet people getting to you so much that you post a video of you with the girl you're fucking. See, guys, I'm not gay. It's like, well, I mean, you're having sex with a chick, yeah, but like that's still gay, dude. You're being gay right now.
Fortunately, Harry made a grave mistake. He forgot to clean up after himself before he hard launched. And a bunch of women started to make TikToks about how they thought they were in relationships with Harry. It includes this woman, Diana. Obviously, these are all allegations. And then Carly, who has been posting about it a bunch. She posted this Snapchat where Harry said, I'd F you after wine tasting, but that's just me.
That's what I was talking about. I'd fuck you raw after a wine tasting. Are you in the mood to get fucked raw after a wine tasting? That seems like a roses and candles, like R&B slow fuck kind of a night. Not like a, you've been a naughty girl kind of an evening. I mean, you break out different fucks for different occasions, Harry. Jesus.
James catches, puts up a 3, won't go. Rebound, Bosch, back out to Allen, his 3, bang! Then this user, American Hannah.
I don't like her. She's an opportunistic asshole.
Also describes herself as a victim of Harry.
She's called, wait, did she, I didn't see that in the video. Did she really say she's a you ain't a victim of shit. You went into it eyes wide open. There's a saying that women say to other women, don't date on potential. Date what, when someone shows you who they are, believe them.
I don't want to downplay emotional damage.
I do.
Emotional manipulation. I do want to make it clear. There's no accusations of crime against Harry.
Right.
The number one thing he did wrong, it appears, was being the effing man. People have
I like this guy.
Even started to make fan edits of all of his Snapchats. In total, it said Harry had a roster of over 11 women. Okay, bro. Harry's response to this hasn't been great. He hasn't apologized yet. There's a clip going around where he calls some of these individuals lunatics, which is something I would not recommend you.
Yeah, I'll say this. They're not lunatics. Look, if you're going to try and spin 11 pussy plates at the same time and they find out, you're fucked, dude. You made a big mistake. That is, I mean, Harry Sisson should not have attempted to have a roster of 11 rotating women. That's fucking idiotic. And mean. I mean, we can say that. It's mean. It's insensitive. If the women all know about each other and everybody's cool with it, I mean, shit, my sexual history, who the fuck am I to judge? But if you're doing that, like, first of all, if you're fucking all of them, now you're talking about disease and, you know, spreading shit and fucking up women's vaginas and shit. Don't do that. Don't be that guy. But, like, he didn't do anything illegal. Like, he's not breaking the law. Here's what he did. He's a fuckboy. He's dishonest. He's a piece of shit. And that's what happens when you put yourself up there. This is why I don't feel bad for Harry Sisson. When you put yourself up there as holier than thou, and you're, I'm pro-women and Republicans are all pieces of shit and blah, blah, and you're trying to spin 11 pussy plates at the same time, nobody's going to feel bad for you when you get found out. I feel bad for those 11 women that he was all like trying to fuck on the sly that didn't know about each other. I feel bad for them. That first woman in that first video, that was a fuck buddy who's mad that it didn't become something else. So that it's a little different. But overall, I'll be honest with you guys, a little flabbergasted that Harry Sisson is not a homosexual. That I still say the big takeaway from all of this is that Harry Sisson isn't gay. I'm still recovering. Gray Duckling with $2 says, shit, your mods call you gay all the time. Right. My parents call me gay. Let's go to numero uno. Oh, we got more info on the Johnny thing. I like this silly evening show bullshit. Let's see. What's up? He says, I tried to get him to play a 51-second clip, and he didn't want to, which is no big deal. But then he went straight into an Elon clip after, telling me not to distract from his topics. His fault, really. Oh, yeah. Send me your 51-second Elon clip. I'll play it for you. I mean, if you throw a buck or two in, that's great, too. But we're only $60 away from tonight. We're good. Numero uno, Josh Denny fan says, none of this is about caring about what this dude did. It's just about him being famous, I guess, and having a take on him gets views. Trying to fuck 11 girls at the same time is a dickhead move. It's a sleazebag move. And if women find out you're doing that, they're going to burn you down. And hell hath no fury like a woman scorned. Harry made his bed. Harry's sleeping it. Your tree, Frank, you're sitting in it. I don't feel bad for Harry Sisson whatsoever. But that first girl, that American Hannah, that's just sour grapes. The 11 girls pissed because they didn't know the same guy was trying to fuck all of them at the same time. They're not lunatics. I mean, that's okay. I mean, you get to be pissed at that. And if you're going to play that, if you're going to walk on that tightrope with no net, you can't be mad when your face hits the pavement. And then they step on it. Now, MSO says, you don't know that for sure, Aaron. Maybe all those girls are trans. Aw, thanks, MSO, for trying to make me feel better. But I'm moving on, and I'm accepting the loss on this one. I'm taking the L. I'm learning from my mistakes. But that, I can't tell you how sweet that is. It's one of the nicest things anyone's ever done for me. It's trying to convince me that these beautiful girls might be trans just so I can still think Harry Sisson's gay. I really appreciate it. Numero uno says it's not an Elon clip. It's a joke related to him saying his bong broke. Oh, well then. It's not really going to help me, is it? Numero uno also says trying to fuck 11 women at the same time is not kosher. Since when? Hey, look what happens when you try to make it 2. 11. Dude, I'm terrified. I'm hearing about Harry Sisson and 11 chicks, and I'm like, Jesus Christ. I'm a year out of it, and I'm just cleaning shit up. Jesus, Harry, what are you doing? He should have called me. He should have called. Gray Duckling with $5 says, for the Clippers. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Well, we're 55 away from the goal. That's the good news. The bad news is I got to play this shit. My Lost Interest says, imagine the work that goes into a roster of 11 20-somethings, right? I mean, so I had one, actually about 30, but I had one. And then after her, there was, like, there's just a brief thing with another one. It gets messy. Like, it can be so 11, fucking 11, Fucking 11? Dude. It's not going to work. I don't care what movies you watch. I don't care what hookup artist you've been watching. A roster of 11 is going to fall apart, and they're never going to be cool with it. Let's go to Gray Duckling first for the Clippers. Oh, boy, not for the Clippers. Don't do anything for the Clippers. No offense, my lost interest. Right. My parents call me gay. Let's go to... That sounds so bad. That's your guy. You know, that's the problem you guys are having now is I'm so jaded after 10 years to all of your taunts that you guys throw something like that at me and it just bing. I just go, oh, that ain't shit. All right, numero uno with a buck. We'll take a look at this. Trying to continually fuck 11 women who may be able to contact each other is a rookie move. Bingo. And, dude, you got a sex addiction if you need a roster of 11. That's a problem. I mean, honestly, 1 is the right number at a time, just for your health. 1 is the right number, but more than 2, like now you're doing more work than you are enjoying pussy. It's just not a good move. Oh, is this that Tom Myers guy? Dude, he is so tragically bad. Oh no. Is this the guy who like he was watching me one day and then the audience said something? I'm like, I don't know who it is. And then MGD went, you have to see this YouTube channel of his comedy clips. They're so fucking terrible. And I didn't, but then he started deleting his clips. Oh, this guy's a chicken shit. This is one of those guys where I'm like, man, if I didn't have anything better to do, I could lean into this guy for a little bit and we could just smoke him. But, like, honestly, I think God's done that at this point. All right.
How you guys doing tonight? Everybody having a good time so far?
What the fuck? Is he on like a, what's the, Jerry's kid's disease? Spina bifida? Who the fuck is that host?
Yeah, I'm in kind of a weird mood myself.
Oh, God, is he going to do a joke about hitting a bong and then blowing it at somebody else? Oh, God, what a fucking hack.
On my way down here, I stopped at a convenience store. I'm waiting in line to pay, and the guy in front of me puts down a dozen donuts, 2 big bags of Doritos, one of those cheapo 1-gallon bottles.
Is that why your eyes are so bugged out? You were surprised at his groceries and they haven't gone back into your head yet? Why the fuck does he have eyes like Glenn in The Walking Dead after Negan hit him with Lucille? This guy's a bug-eyed weirdo.
Generic brand fruit punch and a nasty, old, rotting banana. And he turns.
Why is he wearing his dad's jacket? Well, they sell him in his size. Like, he doesn't have to wear other people's. I mean, it's not like this is the Tonight Show. We can see the little Dollar Tree fucking metal rings that they put in this cheap MyPillow bed sheet to hang up here on this black rail. I mean, this isn't. The lighting is awful, too. Either that or you do have a two-tone face. That could be a face transplant thing. I'm not sure.
Perkins says to him, my girlfriend just had an operation. She can only eat certain things. I look at him.
If he goes, I look at him and I said, what'd she have? A bong transplant? I'm going to lose my fucking mind at how criminally unfunny it is.
At him and I go, yeah, right. What did she have, a bong hit transplant?
Oh. You can hear 3 individual laughs and 1 person shout out. And ladies and gentlemen, that's why you bring your cousin to your stand-up gigs.
That guy's in here right now, isn't he? Oh, shit.
Oh, that's the hack. Oh, God. I wish I wouldn't have started out doing comedy fucking emceeing, because you see everything. And that's the thing hacks do when they're joke bombs, is they try to go like, this guy knows what I'm talking about. Or, guy's in here, is he? Oh, he's here. That's why you're not laughing. No, they're just laughing at the criminally unfunny premise you've just presented them with. Numero uno's a dick. He goes, Aaron, it's a bong hit transplant. The fucking basis of the joke doesn't even make sense. You know what? This dopey hack is not allowed to watch. First of all, the only reason this shithead should be watching me is so he learns how to fucking do this. Because based on what I've seen, he should delete every fucking clip he's got. Oh my God. Hacks say that sucks. Oh, Blukey writes, Melton's a good joke writer. If Tom Myers dreams that his show's anywhere near as good as mine, he better wake up and apologize. Oh, is he terrible. Numero uno, Josh Denny fan pointing out, Aaron, your bong transplant would have made more sense. Yeah, I mean, the joke I wrote for his shitty setup was fucking terrible, and it was still better than what he came up with. But it sounded like the 8th grader hosting that middle school talent show really liked the joke, so that's cool. Numero uno writes, he started out saying, I was in kind of a weird mood. Yeah, he really just couldn't shake that encounter in line at the grocery store, could he? Jesus Christ. Tom Myers, you're welcome, because me pointing out how fucking terrible you are is the best PR you've probably gotten in a while. Bob Levy looks at Tom Myers' numbers and goes, I'm not doing too bad. None of it makes any sense. It's like the Burroughs cut-up method performed by a completely retarded comic, says numero uno. Oh, so is there like a whole like subculture of people that just like kind of like eggs this guy on and makes him think he's good so that he just keeps producing retard milk for them? Oh, that's mean. You guys are mean. That's actually not very nice. And I'm not laughing about it at all. Oh, he's fucking bad. He should, you know what? He should watch away. He might actually get better if he keeps. You know what, Tom? Watch this show, but don't pause it or talk over it. Learn something. Somebody said that Michael Myers is funnier. MSO calling him Uncle Tom Myers. McBuster says Michaeline is funnier. Ooh, boy. Numero uno still being a dick. He goes, a bong hit transplant. Oh, God. Well, that's why you don't take a gig at the junior highs. They're a tough audience. They're a tough crowd. I would have killed at an elementary school. Fucking dope. Oh, you know what? I'm so glad you showed that to us now, because I have a very wholesome story coming up next. And you are going to absolutely fucking hate it. Das Optic Nerve saying that Oscar Myers is more funny. Dude, the way Meyer Lansky died is better than Tom Myers. Numero uno, Josh Denny fan says his show is what a bad version of Sit Down Zumach must be like. But at least you got to give Chad this. Yes, that's right. We're going to give Chad Zumach credit. That's how bad this other guy is. People are saying whatever you're imagining, it's worse. At least Chad has like a charisma, and he's been a radio guy, and he knows how to like put on a show. You may not like the personality he puts on there, but he has a personality and he puts it forward. This Tom Myers guy, he always made people so uncomfortable at how unfunny he was. Nobody had the heart to tell him he was dog shit because they were already too embarrassed. But the problem is, he just kept doing it. He didn't stop. Everyone in Tom Myers' life thought, we don't need to tell him he's dog shit. It's self-evident. He'll figure it out and he'll just move on to something else. And goddamn, if he just stuck with it. We had a name. We had a phrase for people who were this fucking bad but didn't quit. He sucks with a passion. That's Tom. I'm actually kind of mad you sent me to that. My Lost Interest says it's awful, but bong transplant is better. I know. Believe me, it's still a shitty joke, and I don't want it. You can have it. But it's still better than bong hit. Guys, get it? Tom was watching your show and reacting to your news stories as if he thought he was on your show. It's incredible. Wait a minute. So Tom Myers is so shitty at watching people and A-logging them that it turns out he was just enamored with the content on my show and wanted to comment on it. You understand that's called just being a listener, Tom? What you did is you were a caller to my show without calling my show. See, now don't turn me back to the old me. Don't make me go back to what I used to be. I don't want to dig in and wreck this guy. It's not worth it. My audience would get bored. Don't make me go old school. I'll feel like I'm beating up a cripple. Go after Johnny next. But you're saying that he tried to A-log Steel Toe and he ended up just being a caller and commenting on the content we are doing? What the fuck? Numero Uno says he sent a super chat to you because he didn't like your take and wanted to correct you. LOL, it's so good, I can't believe it's real. That's called just being a fan of the show. Oh my God. Like, Melton fans are that bad too. They'll be like, he said this today about this topic and I think he was wrong. And guys, you stop admitting that the guy you hate does compelling content that causes you to react. That's kind of the point of the show. Whether you agree with me or disagree with me, we're trying to get you engaged in the program. My Lost Interest says, actually, everyone thought Tom was in on the joke. Wait, they thought like I set up Tom, like I was part of it? No. Guys, as God is my witness, I would never introduce that into any sort of audience. I'm sorry. Fuck you, dude, is still mad. He's like, why did the bong hit the transplant? McBuster says, why did the chicken cross the bong? The bong was a bong. Haha, bong. It really is a joke devoid of all structure. McBuster says, 3 bongs walk into a bar. Pot. It's tragic. Atomic Ray says, laughing my ass off, the L heard round the world. I mean, but that's my thing. I don't feel good handing Tom Myers an L. That's not a good feeling. It should be self-evident. Numero Uno says, you got to at least watch the Stalin clip after the show or something. He even does the Chad thing of changing box sizes and pointing to his Chiron title in place of having any jokes or funny comments. Oh, like I made fun of his eyes and now I feel really bad because just watching what he was doing is the joke. Like it's that fucking terrible. And then I made a Glenn bug-eyed hit in the head with a barbed wire bat joke and now I feel terrible. It's literally like kicking a handicap kid. Trucker 18 Wheeler with $4.99 says Josh Denny fan was constantly saying it was funny in Johnny's chat earlier. That's why Johnny banned him. I knew Numero Uno was leaving something out. If someone kept telling me, and I bet that knowing Numero Uno, I bet you he was in that chat and he was going like he was trying to sell Johnny. Like, no, Johnny, it's really good, I swear. And Johnny's like, get the fuck out of here. Skybrick with $2 says, good stuff, Toe. New listener from Minnesota here. Well, thank you, Skybrick. Great to have you, pal. 191 Redbird says, does he know a good part of the show is everyone calling you gay and dumb? Yeah, it's our audience talking to the show. Oh, boy. $55 away from knocking it out. Thank you, guys. Numero Uno says, no, I was telling him this clip was hilarious, but he banned me after I let that go and watched and commented on the Elon thing. Oh, okay. Okay. Crunchy with $10 says, long live the bloody red queen. Thank you, Crunchy. That's very nice of you. And now we're $45 away from tonight. Thank you very much, Crunchy. Crunchy now at $3.15 for the week. I don't think anybody's going to catch Crunchy, guys. I think it's over. I think Crunchy's got the W for this week. By the way, she wanted to give that VIP package to Miss Tay. So I think I'm going to send that. I'm going to take Johnny's advice. I'm going to go to the Streamlabs store and set that up there. I am asking you guys, if it's still in the printing process, you're not going to cost me any money. They haven't paid me out a fucking dime. They owe hundreds of dollars. Cancel the fucking order. I'm not counting on it anyway. We don't need it. We're doing fine. Cancel your fucking orders. Get your money back. We'll set it up over there. Johnny's already got his Streamlabs stuff that he ordered. And then people like Numero Uno that I owe stuff to, that's still fucking printing. All the VIPs, your shit that's still printing. The minute they cancel that horse shit, I'm going to get you guys that and a little something extra. Because that's fucking embarrassing. That's really just shitty, the way they do business over there. And then somebody said, Aaron, you should have known that because Square has a lot of bad reviews. But yeah, maybe. But everything has, everything, if you go to the worst review section, everything has a lot of bad reviews. All right, guys, thank you very much for your generosity. Numero Uno says, I Googled Spring earlier. Apparently, this is a known issue with lots of different shows merch. Okay. All right. Yeah, we'll, and even if they don't cancel my VIP shit and you guys end up, we get you a package from the new place, just take both of them. Who fucking cares, right? You guys are generous enough. You guys are incredible. You deserve them. You deserve them. And then we can start getting those existing VIPs all their free shit. I'm excited to get caught up on all that stuff. That's the last thing we got left. $45 away from calling it a win for the toe. So you guys have already made sure that this is going to be about another hour-long program. Everybody throw in a little bit. We'll get that last 45 hammered out. And then guess what? It's another perfect week of evening shows. Thanks, guys. I mean it. You guys are the best. You guys ready for a wholesome story? I saw this, and I honestly, I wanted to do it because I was like, this is like going to save my soul. All the shit I do, all the shit I've done, all the stuff I broadcast. Let's see if this audience can get through a nice story, just a nice family, small town, human interest piece on Fox 9 News about two brothers, Marlon and Merlin, who have breakfast together at Perkins every single morning for like 30 years. I'm going to play you this story, and you know what you guys are going to do? You're going to go, Aaron, this is so nice. Aaron, this is so kind. In no way are you going to see the appearance of the two of them and go, fuck you, Aaron, you are tempting me into making fun of these two. I'm not going to make fun of them. I'm going to play the story. We're going to comment on how nice and heartwarming this is, and then we're going to go to the chat, and you guys are going to either have really nice super chats and things like that, or you guys are going to choose to be giant fucking bullies and assholes. Let's see where it goes.
And for a pair of twin brothers, they cannot start their day until they have breakfast together at Perkins.
This has been a ritual for them now for 30 years until this week when Perkins gifted them a trip to Florida to help open the newest location in Orlando.
Isn't it? I mean, forget the fact that they both look like they work at a funeral home. That's not bullying them. I'm just commenting on their appearance. You ever tried to do that? Like the fact that they kept something going like that for 30 years daily is really incredible. You ever try to get like a tradition like that started with a friend or a family member and you like last a week and you go, yeah, well, we tried. It's hard, man, because it's just so monotonous going to this, like eating the same shitty Perkins breakfast every single day. How much syrup can one man consume?
Tim Walz has their story from Plymouth.
Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, 7 a.m., you will find the Smart Brothers, Merlin and Marlon, here at this particular Perkins in this particular booth having the same breakfast. They've been doing it for the last 30 years.
They even order the same thing. All right. You don't order the same food as your brother. We're being weird now.
Say Sunday because you come a little later. They come after church. But take us back. How did this become such a tradition for you two?
Well, during the years when we were teaching and being in school administrators in Millbank, South Dakota, which is where we had the majority of our career in education.
And yes, by the way, that's a Southern Minnesota accent. That's where Jesse Ventura's accent comes from. That's Southern Minnesota. That's that off by like the corner, like the southwest corner where you're by the Dakotas in Iowa. You'll get a lot of those Jesse Ventura accents.
We went out for breakfast every morning with our friends or with the two of us, but usually we had friends joining us, and it was just a great way to start the day.
Now this story's going to get all sad. They're going to be like, well, but then, since it's been 30 years, a couple of them died. One of them's in prison for Stuff they found on his computer. We can't talk about it. And there was a thing with a student with one of the other teachers, and they're not here anymore, God bless. But, we're still hanging in there.
And we just felt we wanted to continue that tradition when we retired. It's an easy way to get us up in the morning and get us ready to go. And it forces us to get up and do something and not just do nothing all day long.
Sure.
And
these guys are already more productive than any Patrick Melton fan. All right. Gives us an excuse to get up and go do something in the morning, instead of sitting around twiddling our dicks. By the way, which one's a bigger pussy magnet? Which one's got a higher body count, Merlin or Marlin? Which one of the Smart brothers pulled more tail? Which one of them got more numbers at Perkins?
We do Perkins because we really like their pancakes, as you can tell, and their whipped cream and strawberries.
Now, if you'll excuse me, bitch, they're getting cold, and you're fucking annoying us, and we're trying to be Minnesota nice, but by golly gee, if I bite into a cold pancake, I'm going to fucking kill your cameraman.
What about if there's like a snowstorm? And what keeps you away from your breakfast? Not much, I guess.
No, if we can get out of our garage with our four-wheel drive vehicle, we're here.
Oh, look at this guy. Oh, he got more pussy. This guy, let your dick swing a little bit. Our four-wheel drive vehicles, if you're in Minnesota and you drive front-wheel drive, you're either poor or a pussy.
And if the roads are passable enough to get here, we haven't missed for several years.
Right. And you had friends who were here earlier to support you. I mean, you've made friendships just by dining here daily.
Yes. Several very good friends that we go back and
We even posed for a Negro. Look at that.
Forth with now that we just started here. They came over to our table.
Oh, yeah, look at this. The girls are just coming over to the table. Which one gets Merlin? Which one gets Marlin? You girls ever done twins before? Shut up and eat your pancakes.
One group in particular.
And we're going Dutch.
And introduced themselves and said, we've noticed you've been here a lot. And I've heard you talk about novels that you read and books that you read, and I like to read.
Oh, Merlin and Marlin, you ought to be ashamed of yourselves. That lady's got an artificial hip, you poon dogs.
Also, I'd like to get to know you a little better.
Oh.
And so now we have breakfast with...
But we have pancakes, so I always tell them I hope to get to know you better. And then they pepper spray us and leave.
With her every other week for 3 hours.
Wow. And then you were sitting here...
Oh, so you take up a fucking table for 3 hours while people are waiting to have breakfast.
One day in this very booth when you were approached and told Perkins wanted to do something kind for you because of how long you've been.
Yes, the president of the company called Marlin that morning right during our regular breakfast time here and offered to do this trip for us to help publicize their new concept restaurant in Orlando. And they're giving us a day at Disney World, which we've not been before, so we're very excited about that also.
Have so much fun on your trip.
These guys are about the most stereotypical Minnesota pair of brothers I've ever seen. See, guys, we can be wholesome on this show. Let's see. Let's go to the audience. Let's see what they thought about Merlin and Marlin. Trucker 18-wheeler with 199 says that's gay. All right, well, we're off to a rough start, but it's all right. Loaded Wrench with $2 says, guess which one is Aaron's real dad? Okay, that's not exactly the... All right. No, $1 from Professor Tie-Dye. He says, the new fan getting called buddy is a red flag. It means he's going to try and slide into your Snapchat DMs like he slid into Pancake McSkeeter Tits Snapchat. 199 from Trucker 18-wheeler says, but why Perkins? Oh, bro. Midwestern old people love Perkins. Old Midwesterners, I mean, Perkins is their jam. No doubt. No doubt. Oh, boy. Feel good story, really? Now I just feel bad for people with Down syndrome, says Dive Bar. Oh, well, that's not. See, that's what I was talking about. I thought we could do a nice story. You know, My Lost Interest says twinsies. Same job, same friends, same taste in food, share girlfriends. Oh, wait, that took a turn. Come on, don't, guys. Don't do it. Oh, boy. Then we got gay F word flying around in the chat. Perkins is complete garbage. Blukey says Perkins is trash like my wife. It's not very nice. Dad Vet is mad at us because we're not still over 300 right now, I guess. Sorry, Dad Vet. I apologize. We'll try harder. Yeah, we went down. We peaked at about 340 this evening. We're at about 250. We're bringing it in for the overtime landing tonight. You guys have been incredible this week. Thank you very much. And Dad Vet, I'm very sorry that we've upset you. Cheers to a perfect week, bud. Send me an extra hoodie when you figure it out. $50 from guess who? Crunchy. Crunchy with another $50. Crunchy, couple drops for you.
They are afraid.
And, of course, it's all over but the crying.
But I'm afraid I've got some bad news.
Thank you very much, Crunchy. That is what we call in the business another win for the toe. All right. Here's the deal, guys. Here's the deal. Anything else you guys contribute, I want to say it before you start doing it. Anything you guys contribute can go towards either tomorrow morning or Monday evening. You guys get to choose if you're going to be gracious to the morning show people or you're just going to go, nope, keep knocking our goals down. You guys, I can't remember the last time you evening show folks had a full goal. Skybrick with $2. Thank you, Skybrick. Says Tremendous 12 covers all the major food groups. See, some people were wholesome about those guys. God, Dad Vet, you are really mad about us hitting the goal. Jesus Christ. Same people donating every day. Not a great business model. I mean, we've kept it going for 4 years now. I mean, we're doing fine over here. I mean, I don't know what to tell you, Dad Vet. You seem upset. I mean, look. Don't let it bother you. Like, it will not affect your day. I promise you. I promise it won't affect your day unless you let me affect your day. Don't let me have that power over you. Otherwise, you'll end up like Angelica's doll. I'm just busting your balls, too. I know you get bitchy. Gray Duckling with $5 said, oh, I lost all my, oh, shit. Where'd the Gray Duckling thing go? I lost it. Sorry, Gray. It literally just disappeared just as I went to click on it. Trucker 18 Wheeler says, tomorrow morning, since I'm a morning show guy. There we go. Thank you, buddy. Appreciate it. My Lost Interest says, girls be doing crazy shit when they're on their period. Are you saying Dad Vet's on his period? Crunchy Cynicism with $10. You're going to make Dad Vet mad. You're going to make him mad. Says, I donate in the evenings, but because I love the mornings, I get to choose. Put it towards the mornings, please. Scoreboard. Oh, boy. Crunchy going scoreboard for the morning show, people. Optic Nerve with $2 says, for the morning so I can feel better when I wake up. Ah, what a guy. You know, the morning show, they did do themselves some favors today. They were like $40 up. So now they're $50 up. They'll be really happy about that. You know, the less lifting they have to do, the more thrilled they get. All right, guys, we got some news on the Feeding Our Future scandal. I know we've been following that. This is what they call a follow-up in the news biz, something Fox 9 doesn't do about me. It's okay. I know they're dishonest, and I know they're in the tank, shall we say. It's fine. I keep bringing that up because it bothers people. I'm low-key still being a dick, Aaron. Stop it. So Amy Bach and Salim Saeed have both been found guilty in the Feeding Our Future scandal. Now, if you're saying, Aaron, which one of the scandals you've been covering is the Feeding Our Future one? I know it's complicated because as far as Minnesota Somali welfare scandals go, there's a few of them you can choose from. So you know the daycare one where there were non-existent daycares where kids were being signed in, and then the federal government was giving those daycares money, not checking on anything. This is before the days of Doge. Well, the Feeding Our Future scandal is where Somali restaurants were saying, thanks to this Amy Bach. So this Amy Bach would tell these Somali restaurants, hey, Why don't we tell them that you're serving like 4,000 kids a day in your restaurant as part of this Feeding Our Future thing? So she was running the program in Minnesota, and I'm guessing she was taking the federal money, taking a percentage for herself, and then giving a smaller percentage to these Somali restaurant owners. They were all in on it. They were all fucking over the taxpayers. But Amy Bach kept the lion's share of the money, and she gave a smaller sliver to the Somali business owners. And the problem with keeping people loyal to you is when you're running a scam, you got to keep them loyal with money. And when they found out what a take she was having, what part of the take she was taking, and what part she was giving them, they were like, oh, well, fuck her. We'll turn on her 100%. And as soon as the feds came in and started asking them questions, they pointed right to Amy Bach and Salim Saeed. So a bunch of these restaurant owners didn't have to go to trial. They took lesser pleas. They ratted out Amy Bach, and they got themselves a little bit better deal. I mean, they're by no means are they off the hook, but they got themselves a better deal. Amy Bach and this Salim Saeed, they were like this. They were in lockstep, taking the majority of the money. There's nobody above them that they can rat out. They're fucked. They had the verdict today. Here's how it went.
This is Fox 9 News at 6.
Well, tonight, a jury finds the ringleader of the Feeding Our Future fraud scheme guilty on all counts.
Amy Bach and Salim Saeed faced a total of 28 counts during the 5-week trial. Fox 9's Rob Olson has been following the trial all week and then some. He joins us now outside the federal courthouse in Minneapolis. Details on the guilty verdicts, Rob.
Yeah, very long trial, very short deliberation. The first witnesses took the stand.
That's the thing. When it's a short deliberation, that usually means guilty.
This trial back on February 10th. The jury began deliberating at 9 a.m. this morning. We got the word at 2 p.m. that they had reached verdicts, and there were a lot of counts that they had to consider. But to prosecutors, they believe this shows how overwhelming their case was.
Hopefully, today's verdict will help turn the page on this awful chapter in our state's history.
No problem, Case Keenum. Yeah, I mean, a lot of money. I think, what was it? Was it hundreds of millions of dollars got ripped off from the taxpayers? Something like that. Like, it was damn close. It was in the millions. And Amy Bach was just pocketing that shit, and she was paying off each store owner a little bit. Like, what in God's name compels you to run a scam like this, other than the fact that you're a public sector worker and you've never had to actually produce anything in your life, so you just start to feel entitled to everything? What in God's name possesses you to think that you're going to rip off these giant sums of money and nobody's ever going to notice it? Like, they're never going to, like, nobody's going to trip over these numbers and go, 4,000 kids a day, one restaurant? Let me see this restaurant. It's a fucking hole in the wall on a shitty corner on Lake Street. There ain't 4,000 kids. And then they started camping out. They'd park a car outside the restaurant, and they'd notice that just like a few dozen people were coming through there every day. And that's when the whole thing started to fall apart. But it's like, you see this sometimes with small town city councils, like the treasurer will embezzle money from the city. And it'll be a small town of like 5,000 people. And they'll be like, how much did she embezzle? And they're like, 300 grand. And you're like, well, they're going to fucking notice that. Like that. You're not going to be able to hide the fact that you stole 300 grand from a town where their mayor is a part-time employee. And the city council meets maybe twice a month. They're going to notice that amount's missing. You start stealing tens of millions of dollars from the federal government. And I'm not saying they'll catch you the first day, but learn when to fucking quit.
The very quick verdicts against Amy Bach and Salim Saeed come after.
Can we give him extra time in prison for still wearing a mask in 2025?
After a nearly 6-week trial, the jury saw hundreds of pages of documents, false meal claims, fake invoices, $1 million checks, testimony from.
And also, every city that they did this in, heavy Somali populations. Minneapolis, St. Paul, St. Cloud, Wilmer, and Mankato. Those were the towns that and what they all have in common is huge Somali populations.
From some of the 37 people who've already pled guilty for
And you know what the Somali community's excuse for this was when they all turned on her? They're like, whoa, we're just poor immigrants. We didn't know this was wrong. The evil white lady misled us. Oh, yeah. You just thought in America that some white lady shows up with a duffel bag full of cash and just gives it to you? Okay.
Prosecutors,
I guess the government taught him that.
The evidence was overwhelming, they say, that Amy Bach knew. She submitted every false claim, wrote every check of the nearly $250 million in fraud. I asked them what they thought resonated the most.
I think you'd have to ask the jury that, but obviously in any case where the defendant testifies, that's a key part of it, and both defendants testified at length, and clearly the jury didn't find them credible and didn't believe their stories.
Bach testified for more than 3 days and had answers for everything.
Well, it's kind of difficult to buy her story when you're like, okay, the government paid out this amount of money for this many meals, and we have clear evidence here that those meals did not get served. I mean, what story can you come up with that's going to make people deny that fact?
As prosecutors noted, but often conflicted with other witnesses and laid blame on everybody else. Bach's attorney sees it differently.
Amy's testimony was compelling. She answered all the questions that could have been answered.
He said he...
Is that the bar for getting acquitted? She answered all the questions. They ask her the questions, she answer all the questions. If you answer all the questions, acquittal they be guessing, right? Is that how the rhymes work? I know that your black lawyers have to talk in rhyme, like Muhammad Ali.
He's shocked that she's now being detained until sentencing since she has no passport and no money, living with her parents. He was asked if she may express remorse at sentencing.
If there's any remorse, it's because of her children. For her to admit anything, I will go to my grave knowing, because I've reviewed the evidence, this is an innocent woman.
You know what? It's a stand-up lawyer, still gets your back after you got found guilty. That's the thing. You go through trial, you get found guilty, you never have to say you did it. You can be like, nope, fucking got the wrong person. I hope this guy's a little smarter and he's like, look, took a shot and I missed. What do you do?
Salim Saeed is also now in custody, convicted of far more counts than Bach and described as one of the largest perpetrators of fraud. Nearly 30 defendants still await trial, but these quick verdicts just might bring more plea deals, prosecutors say.
That's up to them, but I would imagine that the quick verdict will probably not go unnoticed by the remaining defendants in this case.
That guy's having a hard time not being a...
But I'm afraid...
That guy's having a hard time not being a smug son of a bitch about this. I mean, it's a big win. It was an easy win. So good for him. She answered all the questions. That means she gets to go free. I guess I am not the captain now. What did he get his bar exam from? Shomrock University? Rusty Grammar says they are all Muhammad. Hard to say which one it was when there's thousands of them. That should be the defense. They've got the wrong Muhammad. This is Muhammad from Bleecker Street. You're looking for Muhammad from Jane Street. Common misconception. Because Muhammad on Jane Street looks just like Muhammad from Chaja Street. Therefore, they could be considered the same person. But one of them doesn't even eat at the diner. They're fucked, dude. Take a deal. Take a deal. You're fucked. They're not going to give you a good one. It's going to be a shitty one because this is like playing too long in Deal or No Deal. You know, your $1 million suitcase just went down the shitter, my friend. Now, if this woman would have won, holy shit, dig in. You got a chance. But the fact that it was a very short deliberation and a very quick verdict, sounds like they got you. Sounds like they got you. As someone would say, dead to rights. You know, but those predictions don't always pan out. Yeah. All right, let's continue again here. We got more just Trump derangement syndrome going on. Oh, speaking of Trump derangement syndrome, is it tonight's show or tomorrow's show that we've got the, I think it's tomorrow's show, yeah, where we have the guy, the state senator here from Minnesota, who wanted to make Trump derangement syndrome an official mental disorder, and then the next day he gets busted for soliciting a minor. The Republicans have asked that guy to step down. Apparently, they can't just remove him. He's an elected official. There's a whole process you have to go through, and they're now just being like, dude, don't make us go through the process. Could you just be a doll and quit? That would be all right. Really fucks the Republicans, too, because the margin in the Senate here is razor thin. So he's really fucking shit up because he's a pig. But he's, he wanted to make Trump derangement syndrome a mental disorder. And got to clean up your own backyard before you start shaking the ugly end of the stick at somebody else. So now we've got someone in Aspinwall, Pennsylvania. They've moved on past like Kimmel and Teslas and setting them on fire and shit. Now they're finding houses that have Trump flags and Trump banners at their house, and he's vandalizing them. Just, hey, you know what? That'll make sure the entire world changes their opinion and goes to your side. They'll know that you mean business.
Aspinwall police are looking for this man who was caught on camera on 2 separate occasions. The first time happened in October of last year.
He went to a resident.
What, do they have steel toe cameras? Jesus. How great would it be if he was driving a Tesla?
That had a Trump flag, and he stopped his vehicle right in the middle of the roadway, got out, walked up to the sidewalk, and started yelling obscenities at the house, at the flag.
Police say,
fucking get a hold of yourself, dude. What is that? Like, that's the thing. Like, what is it accomplishing other than telling everyone you're clearly mentally ill? You go up in someone's front yard. You know, in some states, you go in their front yard and you start screaming at them, they could see that as a threat to their bodily safety. There's some states where they might be able to maybe not shoot you, but, you know, whip the dog shit out of you, that's for sure. And you deserve it. First of all, for blocking traffic. Second of all, for just being a cunt.
Say it then happened again last Friday.
Appeared to be the same individual. He went to another residence and walked right up on the porch this time. Opened up the door, and then he actually spit on the door itself on the camera.
What a fucking puke. Just spit on their Ring doorbell kit. That'll get them voting Democrat in 26. The midterms are turning around. We're burning down Tesla dealers, and we're spitting on people's Ring doorbell cameras. Vote Democrat for the future of this country. Trucker 18-wheeler with a $1.99 says, that was this morning you talked about the senator. Oh, okay. Thank you, buddy.
And then just turned around and walked off the porch.
Chief David Nemec says they're not taking this lightly and hope to get to the bottom of this situation.
Our main thing is the safety for this community. Things like this really don't happen around here. And so now that it's happened again, we don't want to see copycat people doing things like this. So we'd really like to get a handle on this and find this person.
This is the weirdest thing. Like what the internet and social media has done to us is it's allowed us to go into our own little holes and have our own little worlds and only talk to people we agree with. Because it is so wild to me that if you talk to the average Trump person and you ask them, what's your biggest complaint about Trump? They would go, he hasn't done enough in 2 months. The economy's not already going gangbusters crazy. He hasn't released the Epstein stuff. He hasn't cut taxes and blah, 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 blah. Like, they would say, like, they want Trump to do everything right now. But yet, if you ask, like, a lefty, what's your problem with Trump? They'd be like, he's doing too much, and he's doing it all at once, and it's terrible. That's because we lock ourselves in these rooms where everybody agrees with us. And then we're like, well, that must be what reality is. And it's so not. Reality is going outside and talking to multiple people and getting multiple perspectives. Leah says, I live in Pennsylvania. This has been going on for a while. Both sides are doing this in PA. Oh, so you guys are just kind of being shitty all around. Oh, hey, I wish I would have done this before overtime when we were at our peak. But hit like, hit subscribe. We appreciate that. Between Rumble and YouTube, we're pushing 18,000 of you subscribing to this fucking program. You know, you ought to be ashamed of yourself. 18,000? That's disgusting. I mean, it's more than fucking Melton. It's more than, Kevin. It's more than all these people. You ought to be ashamed of yourself that we're almost at 18,000 subscribers. You fucking pigs. Rusty Grammar, but keep clicking it. Rusty Grammar with $2 says, all right, the what do they have? Steel Toes cameras comment deserves a couple drops in the offering plate. Maybe Dad Vet will come around and learn how this show operates. I don't think Dad Vet's coming around. He seems really upset about fucking something. My Lost Interest says, in fairness, most political flag dudes are looking for a fight. Yeah, I wouldn't fuck with a guy who's so passionate about his trumping that he's putting a flag out in his front yard. Because, like, I've never felt passionate enough about a political cause to put a flag in your... Like, in my yard, I've got, like, a Vikings welcome thing in the corner of the outside of the house. And I've got a Vikings, a little yard flag that's on, like, a planting stake thing next to my garden. That's, like, I'm a Vikings fan. I love the Vikings. It's about it. But it's never like... It's never like a political thing because I feel like if I ever put a political flag out in my yard, that people would just look at it and go, what fucking loser asshole lives here? And then they'll look it up and they'll go, oh, it's the Steel Toe guy. It's fucking loser asshole. You know, I just never, like, what does it matter that I advertise? Like, maybe this is kind of old school of me, I guess, but like, I feel that your political stance is a very personal thing. It works for you. Whatever you need in your life, that political belief system you believe will give it to you the best way. That's the best way for the government to run for you. Why do you need to push that on somebody else? It's the same as like politics and religion. I guess I'm still a little old school central Minnesotan on that. Just because it works for you doesn't mean it's going to work for somebody else. So shut the fuck up. Love what you love, like what you like, but if you're a guy who's passionate enough to throw a flag in your front yard, you're passionate enough to fight over it. So keep that in mind before you go fucking with people because you don't like the flag in their yard. And by the way, going after people because they have a flag is way more psychotic than just having a flag. That's for sure. I did see a couple of polling numbers tonight. Oh, wait. Hey, guys, I got big news. Remember I told you how funny the Jesse P.S. Throat Goat Ethan Van Sciver interview was? Apparently, I think Jesse might have... he does. He has an Ethan Van Sciver t-shirt in podawful.shop/shirts. Look at that. Comics Goat. He told Ethan Van Sciver, he told the Throat Goat that he was going to steal his logo. And that he was going to make his own logo off of it, and there was fucking nothing he could do. And it's really a win-win for Jesse because if Ethan Van Sciver, the Throat Goat, if he slaps a cease and desist or a trademark violation on Jesse for this, it's like, really? You're going to fucking do that for the 10 people that are going to buy that shirt? You fucking dork. Or you got to or Jesse's going to make fun of your shit and sell that the way it is. Like, it's a funny move. I know people do it with Steel Toe stuff. I've always thought that was a funny move. I just, selling Steel Toe shit is not selling merch is not a profitable venture. Like, if you're looking at what profit you'll make from merch is like, oh my God, I have to have it. Otherwise, what do I do? It's such a nominal amount that, cost of doing business, people are going to fuck with you. And Jesse is doing this because he wants the letter from Ethan Van Sciver. He wants the letter from the Throat Goat. He would much rather have to delete this shirt off of his website so he can hold up the letter where Ethan Van Sciver went crying and said, stop selling the Comics Goat shirt. He would much rather have that than whatever, $5-10 a shirt he makes on selling the Comics Goat shirt. But that I figured that would be coming. I figured Jesse would go with something for the Throat Goat, Ethan Van Sciver. Dive Bar with $1 says, it's a good plan, buddy. They see the Vikings flag and immediately figured you can't win a fight. It's not very nice. It's actually remarkably mean-spirited. Kind of hurts my feelings. Rusty Grammar says, I've been hooked on Byerly's coleslaw ever since Jesse P.S. hooked you up. I had to try it. Shit's fire. It is. It's really good. Byerly's coleslaw does hit differently. That's the other thing. Like again, these guys like Mersh, they get all pissed off. Jesse P.S. They put coleslaw on my front door. Eat the fucking coleslaw, asshole. It's not like Jesse P.S. is sitting there over it going, I'm going to put poison in it. He's ordering it from a fucking store, and the store brings it to you. Eat the coleslaw. We did it on the air. I ate the coleslaw. I thank Jesse P.S. for it. I did his show. He did my show. Him and Alex Stein fought each other on my show. That was kind of a cool moment. Alex was nice enough to call in with Jesse on the show. Jesse did get a little, I don't think Jesse got mad at me recently. And I don't think Jesse turned on me because I don't think Jesse and I were ever pals. But Jesse didn't like that I wouldn't do Mersh shows with him. And I wanted to, I really did, but there's two reasons why I didn't. It's because, one, our schedules conflict. And number two, I know Jesse says, I'm not going to talk about anything that you can't talk about. I'm not going to, and I'm sure he wouldn't. But I don't want to leave that power in anyone's hands but mine, if that's understandable. I want to leave that all in my hands, if at all possible. CJ with $2 says, Ethan throat goat backstory. I hate that I'm asking. So this old man who's been like doodling comics for a few decades, he takes himself very seriously online. He takes comics very seriously online. There's this black guy named Eric July who has a successful comic book universe, and he independently did it, and he's made a shitload of money from it. And this drives people like this Ethan Van Sciver throat coat guy nuts. He can't stand it for some reason. He's got to let everybody know that Eric July's an asshole and Eric July's a piece of shit. And like Nick tried to sell me on this, and like this Juju the Cow, the Dick Masterson guy, he tries to get in and bash in this Eric July because they got no other content. And it's like, this guy's just not a guy. There's nothing here to attack. He makes a fucking comic book. Quite frankly, you all look like dorks. But Jesse P.S. had Ethan Van Sciver on. And then there's this story that someone alleged that Ethan Van Sciver tried to blow them behind a dumpster. Now, is that true? I highly doubt it. But it caused Jesse to give Ethan Van Sciver the nickname the Throat Goat. And while Jesse had Ethan Van Sciver on his show, he kept calling him the Throat Goat, and Ethan Van Sciver did not like that very much. And so that's the tale of Ethan Van Sciver, the Throat Goat. And it upset him greatly. Dive Bar says, and Mersh made Johnny cry. What kind of friend would you be if you hung out with Mersh? Hanging out with Mersh doesn't seem like a lot of fun. Mersh is getting to a sad place. Red Scoper says, Chuck Dixon your ass. Oh, Chuck Dixon your ass. I like that one. My Lost Interest says, good summary, actually. Not bad for like a not online all the time guy, right? Anytime My Lost Interest says that's a pretty good summary, I feel good about myself. Rust Belt says Ethan Van Sciver did cover art for Eric July. Oh, so he worked for Eric July. Oh, did he not get enough money? Is that okay? It makes a little sense now. Did he he's like a jilted ex. This Ethan Van Sciver's jealous and upset at this Eric July because how dare a black guy make a comic that sells better than mine? He was on Jesse's show and he started pulling out sales charts. Now, Eric July is a bigger seller than Ethan Van Sciver, the Throat Coat. Anytime some asshole starts pulling out charts comparing the two, that guy's losing. The guy who doesn't respond to it and just keeps on doing his thing, that's the winner right there. Atomic Ray says, I would have asked about the backstory to Throat Coat, but goats are useful. Oh, it's a completely different thing. We've got Laura Ingram grilling Trump for some of our overtime tonight. We got a bunch of stuff still to do. Oh God, more. I can't go on a website. I can't go on Twitter. I can't go on anything without more fucking Tesla vandalism shit. Oh, this Tesla dealership. Oh, this guy's this Tesla. People are now putting like notes about you being a Nazi on their Teslas when they're parked. It's like, oh my God. For Christ's sake. My Lost Interest, did Aaron pay you earlier for the clip? Shit. Hold on. That's a big negatory. You just reminded me. We're doing it right on the air. Fuck it. We'll do it live. Is it? My lost interest. There he is. Okay, I was like, where's clips? Pay. And there we go. And now my lost interest has been paid. Who else? I used somebody else's clip recently. Who was it? I feel like I owe two people. At least two people. Who I used another clip. Somebody knows, and they'll tell me, and they can help me with this whole thing. Laura Ingraham actually called out Trump a little bit. You know how I said last night, somebody was saying, oh, Aaron, after your show, Sean Hannity is having Elon Musk on. And I'm like, oh, that's going to be a big fucking sloppy blowjob. And I'm sure it was. I didn't care enough to watch it. It's Sean Hannity. He's just going to ask, hey, Elon, what's it like to be so fucking rad? What's it like to be so cool and awesome? Oh, well, thank you very much, Sean. It's actually very good to be this cool. I can't do an Elon Musk impression. I just do I just talk from my chin. That's my Elon Musk. I just drop my voice down here and I talk into my chin. And that's how I do an Elon Musk. That sounds like an SNL character or something. Anyway, Laura Ingraham was interviewing Trump, and she showed more balls than Sean Hannity has, which is interesting because ever since they let go of Tucker, I just kind of wrote Fox off as like they're just going to be the Trump people. And I think that's true with the morning show people. That's pretty true with the Five. Hannity, of course, is all in on Trump. But this clip claims that Laura, I almost called her Laura Ingalls Wilder. What's her name? Laura Ingraham. She actually gave him some shit.
Trade deficit. China has like a $300 billion last year.
Can we say something? All fairness, whether you love her, whether you hate her, and I don't have I've always kind of found Laura Ingraham to be a bit smug, but like she looks fucking fantastic. She's been on TV for like 15, 20 years. Laura Ingraham looks fucking good. That is a woman, believe it or not, that is pushing 60. What is it about being conservative that keeps you younger? Are you less outraged? I don't know, but like Pam Bondi, as much as she's a piece of shit for not releasing that Epstein stuff. It's on my desk. It's all on my desk. Yeah, I bet it is. Matt Gaetz would have got it out by now. But then again, he's a man, and he was probably there. Laura Ingraham age. She's 61 years old. I was going to say, I hope I look that good at 61, but that would require operations.
Year. You said it goes up when you add it all up, it's $1 trillion.
Way over 100, Canada. And here's my problem with Canada. Canada was meant to be the 51st state because we subsidize Canada by $200 billion a year. We don't need their cars. We don't need their lumber. We have a lot of lumber. We freed it up, as you know.
We're going to cut down a shitload of redwoods. The sequoias are going to be gone. Say goodbye. They'll make great tables.
Last week, we're freeing it up so that you can actually cut down a tree without being, given the death penalty. Because what these radical environmentalists have done to our country, but we freed it up.
They really do wreck views, don't they? You ever just be chilling on an Adirondack chair at a lake because you're 60? And you're trying to look out at the lake, and there's these fucking trees in the way. You're like, God, I wish I could just take these down with a claymore.
But we don't need their lumber.
Aaron, you mean claymore the sword or the explosive? Yes, exactly.
We don't need their energy. We don't need anything. We certainly don't want their automobiles. They make a lot of millions of automobiles are sent in. I'd rather have them made in Michigan. I'd rather have them made in South Carolina or any one of our.
You're tougher with Canada than you are with some of our biggest adversaries.
Only because.
Oh boy. You know what? That's a fair question. Because he's kind of cool with Putin. He was talking about Putin real nice today. But here's the deal. Like, this is the guy who wrote The Art of the Deal. He wants something from Putin. You're nice to the people you want something from. He doesn't, as you heard him just say now, he doesn't want anything from Canada. He wants to bring that shit here. And if he raises tariffs enough, he figures, well, and I can bring some of that shit here. It'll be more profitable for those companies to build it in America. It's called trade protectionism is what he's practicing. Not some people don't like it. Some people don't think it's good. I'm a bit wary of it, but now that we're in the war, I'd like to see us win it. Bring some stuff back here. But as far as him not being tough with Russia, he wants a peace deal out of the Russians. You don't get a peace deal out of the Russians by going, hey, you stinky fucking Slav bastards. Like, that's not, you're not going to get your way by just motherfucking them the whole time.
It's meant to be our 51st State. And
okay,
but listen to this for a second.
We need their territory. They have territorial advantage. We're not going to let them get close to China.
Look,
right?
I deal with every country, indirectly or directly. One of the nastiest countries to deal with is Canada. The people that, now this was Trudeau, the people that good old Justin, I call him Governor Trudeau, his people were nasty. And they weren't telling the truth. They never told the truth. You know that, they'd say, well, we don't charge. Well, they do. They charge tremendous. They charge tremendous. And if you look at dairy products, what they've done to our farmers, I'd go up to Iowa, I'd go up to different places, Nebraska, and they would always complain about Canada, how they get ripped off. Do you know that Canada has a 250% tariff? 250, nobody knows that. They charge us numbers that are crazy. We have a very big deficit with Canada. And there's no reason, much more. We have much more. Just so you understand, we subsidize.
I will say, I respect Laura here because she's trying, she's keeping up. And she's not just being, She's like, you treat them better. You treat Russia better than you treat Canada. She's like, it's a $60 billion trade deficit. He's like, it's more than that. It's more than that. She's like, I don't think so. I know it doesn't take much to be the toughest interview at Fox News of Trump when you got like Hannity and Ducey there, but she's not doing too bad.
Canada, and I like
Trump's not an easy guy to corral either.
Canada, I love Canada.
But now the liberal guys,
I love his wife.
The liberal party is going to win now in the next election, most likely. And they were down and out. Isn't that going to make them more hostile to us and possibly
I'd rather deal with a liberal than a
for China closer to Canada, and that would really put us in a bind.
The conservative that's running is stupidly no friend of mine. I don't know him, but he said negative things. So when he says negative things, I couldn't care less. I think it's easier to deal actually with a liberal. And maybe they're going to win, but I don't really care. It doesn't matter to me at all.
So your end game is what with them?
My end game is I don't want to have a big deficit. I don't want to see the United States of America, and you say 60 and I say 200, but it doesn't matter. I don't want us to pay 60 or 200 billion dollars to a country that if they were a state, think of this, it would be our biggest, most beautiful, it would be great. This state, it would be cherished. We'd take care of it. The people would pay half what they're paying right now. Canada pays very little for defense. They think we're going to defend them.
We protect them.
What?
We protect them.
We protect them. We protect them. Do you know in NATO they pay less than anybody else? In everything else, they go, we're in the process of buying 48 icebreakers. All of a sudden I see Canada's involved where they're going to get a piece of them. I say, what are they paying? And so I got tired of it. Here's the story. I had one of the most successful economies. I had the most successful economy in the history of our country in my first 4 years. We did a great job. Largest tax cuts ever, largest everything. We had right to try where people are able to use drugs.
Anybody else, like, I voted for him. I like him, but he loses me. Like, I start listening and I'm like, wait, what about that thing you were just saying? What about that thing? And he jumps to another and I'm like, hey, over. Can you finish the first thing? Or it's like listening to Mad Dog Russo talk sports. And I love Mad Dog Russo too. I think Mad Dog's awesome. But you listen to him say something and then he's off on something else and fuck. Trucker 18-wheeler with 199 says, I'll just take Alberta. If we're going to take Canada, we got to split it into states. Like, it can't just be 151st state. It's going to have a fuckload of electoral votes, and it's always going blue. You got to split that shit up a little bit. And also, do you know what a fucking shit fit they're going to have when they learn about, what do you call it? Our healthcare, so like private health insurance. You know, they're going to fucking blow a tit over private health insurance. Rust Belt says, why do they have the shortest chairs on earth? It's Fox. They're probably grandmother's chairs, you know? They were shorter back then. Malnourishment, no. My Lost Interest says, pulls out the old Canada as the 51st state gimmick to throw us off the real issue. Right, because how hard is it to say my end game? See, like if I'm the president, this is going to be fun because I'd be so good at it. Could you imagine what a nightmare I'd be? I'd be a disaster. It'd be the worst shape the country's ever been in. But that's an easy question to answer. What's your end game? My end game is either Canada does dollar for dollar trade with us, which is kind of impossible because of our purchasing power, but whatever. We've gone way past that. Or some of these companies agree to move their manufacturing back into the United States, and as they do, we will either drop those tariffs or those companies coming in will make those tariffs obsolete anyway. I mean, but that's the only thing is Trump intends to take business away from Canada, so you got to expect him to fight back. He's expecting Canada to just roll over, and it's like, well, you're trying to take our industry away from us. Like, you're going to cost us a shitload of jobs if you get your way, so we're going to come right back at you. Leah says, because he has a small dick, so he's trying to stroke himself. It's so annoying. He needs to be more direct. Yeah, I never fell for the Trump spell, I guess is what you'd call it. I like him. I think he's got a good head for business. I think he did a good job in his first 4 years. But there's nothing about him that makes me go, oh, I'd blindly follow him into anything. Why would you blindly follow a New York real estate mogul into? He's a bullshit artist. That's what it's not a criticism at all. It's just what he is. He's a New York real estate mogul and businessman. He's a fucking bullshit artist. You don't just go to a bullshit artist and go, whatever you say, sir. No, once in a while you got to go, hey, are you sure about this? Because sounds a little fucking retarded. You know? I hope it works out in our favor. I hate tariffs for this reason. I wish we could figure something out. You know, instead of putting tariffs on products to try and get manufacturing back here, could slash that corporate tax. Aren't you cutting all that money with Doge? Cut the corporate tax from 15 to 20%, maybe cut it down to 5, 3. You want to see manufacturing wants to be here. It's just so fucking cheap to do it other places and then just ship it here. I mean, the majority of these people are going to sell their products in the United States. They'd love to make it here and just cut out that shipping and cut out the middleman. But our employees are more expensive because we have a, more advanced economy and more financial needs. Strengthen the dollar, get the budget under control, and slash the shit out of corporate taxes. Instead of punishing and browbeating countries into taking their manufacturing, why don't we give manufacturing a reason to come back to the United States? Let's not fleece them. U.S. corporate tax rate. As a guy who owns an S Corp, I should probably fucking know that. 21%. Corporate tax rate in the United States stands at 21%. That's profit. They don't just, what a fucking nightmare it would be if you brought in $200 in revenue, fucking they took 40 before you even started paying anything off. No, on profits. Corporate tax rate in the United States averaged 31.99% from 1909 until 2025, reaching an all-time high of 52.8% in 68 and a record low of 1% in 1910. Let's go back to that 1%. We had to start dropping it in 1968 because other countries became a more reasonable option and shipping became more efficient. Technology was there that they could get their products here instead. Yeah, let's slash that corporate tax rate, baby. Let's take that thing down. What is it, 21%? That's too high. Let's make it 10. Let's go down to 10. You'll see manufacturing start coming in. Find out whatever the difference is in labor rate and shipping rate that causes it to be more beneficial to build overseas, and then drop our corporate tax rate by that much. How about you get a 1-year corporate tax grace period? You don't pay any corporate tax for 1 or 2 years if you promise to build if you bring your manufacturing from another country into the United States. You want to get incentivize people to do things. Don't punish people into doing things. Ironically, this almost sounds like a Democratic strategy. Punishing people into doing what you want them to do instead of incentivizing them to do it. What is highest corporate tax rates in the world? What are we at? We've got countries the highest. We got Comoros. I didn't know that was a country. Puerto Rico is part of the United States, not a country. 37.5%. And Suriname with 36%. Lowest corporate tax rates, Turkmenistan. All right. Barbados and the UAE and Hungary are all at 9%. It's not a bad number. So we're on the high, like 21%. We're in the higher end of countries with their corporate tax rate. So I'd like to win this thing I'd like to win this thing without going through all this horse shit and this drama and the short-term pain for the long-term gain when there's other options out there. Leah says, my 5-year-old speaks in more complete sentences than Trump does sometimes. Like he goes off on these tangents and makes no sense. Yankee says, if he spoke as eloquently as Obama, he could do whatever he wanted. Maybe, but he's also got that personality that does turn a lot of people off. Dinosaur Fuel says, no, I'd rather take the 10%. Oh, no, I'm saying we're still going to cut it to 10% and we're going to give them 2 years off if they come from another country. We're going to do both. We're getting them fucking back. I'm just kidding. We're not doing them. I'm saying we're going to do them under my administration, but as I said before, I would destroy the country accidentally. I would Magoo our way out of the number one spot. Hey, guys, thanks for another unbelievable week of evening shows. You guys even threw $10 at the morning show's numbers. They'll appreciate that. We're one more goal away from our 6th straight perfect week here on the Toe. Some of you may not like hearing that, but just get used to it, learn to accept it, and you'll be okay, I swear. Take it easy, everyone. Have a great rest of your night, and we will see you tomorrow morning bright and early at 6 o'clock Central Time.